And we are live. Hey, how's everyone going out there? It's Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we're going to be running an online game, or clearly the game with the fans. This is Enter the Crawlwood. So I'm going to go through, and people are going to be able to introduce themselves and their characters, plug anything that they might want to plug. So let's start off with you, Boris.
All right, my name is Boris, and I post long, annoying comments on Nerdarchy on their YouTube channel, and I'm also working on a 5e compatible game based on Russian folklore and stuff like that. And today, are we doing characters now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, introduce yourselves.
I'm playing a ranger named Dolibor Kupalo, and he's a Beastmaster, and I'm playing the Beastmaster because everyone hates them, so I just want to see what they can do.
Just out of curiosity, are you playing with Nerdarchy's revised Beastmaster, or are you
I'm
playing
actually
straight up?
perfectly fine playing by rules as written, because
Okay,
I think it can work.
all right. And just out of curiosity, what race
I
is your ranger?
am I am human, and my creature is a wolf.
Okay,
Kalavul.
all right. And how about you, Chase?
My name's Chase. I've been watching Nerdarchy for a few months now, just getting into it. My character's name is Dominic Lockwood. I'm a human fighter. I'm quite a large character. I'm 6'2". I've got lots of scars from previous encounters, but I'm the strong silent type.
All right. And over to you, Nelson. And it looks like
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
Nope. Slight technical difficulty, but yes, my name is Nelson, and I too leave exorbitantly long and annoying comments on the occasional Nerdarchy video. I own and operate a YouTube channel, Infinite Roleplay. I also have a drive-through RPG store, Infinite Roleplay, where I sell a bunch of adventures, maps, and dungeons for a very, very low price. I'm currently working obsessively on a cartoon remake using the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons OGL called Saturday Morning Tabletop. You can see some alpha tests on my channel, as well as on the Facebook page Infinite Roleplay. I'll be playing today a halfling that goes by the name of Fenris, and everything else about Fenris will be discovered during gameplay.
All right. How about you, Jose?
Hello, my name is Jose Suarez. I've been watching Nerdarchy for almost 3 years now. I've been watching you since the beginning of the 5th edition came out. And I am playing Joseph Greenbottle, a tiny little halfling rogue of ill repute.
Man, I should be worried. If you've been watching us for 3 years and we've barely been around for 2, should I be worried?
It's about that time since 5th edition came out, so...
Yeah, so we've been posting videos for just about 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's finish up with you, Tim.
Hi, my name is Timmy, or as some of you people know, Timmy X. I am playing a halfling, stout halfling, Eldritch Knight. Shit, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Other than I also broadcast on Twitch.tv, as you can see. I run 3 campaigns, 3 groups, 2 of which are pre-written campaigns, and the homebrew one is on Tuesday evenings. I'm also playing in 2 other groups as well too, as a player, and that's on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna get started. You guys all belong to a mercenary company by the name of the Nag, and the derivation of this name comes from the original founding member. Got this name because he was so annoying to villains by continuously thwarting their plans and all the things that they had set into motion. So at one particular time, the villain who he'd thwarted multiple times, but was still good-hearted and was not willing to actually end him. He's like, why must you always nag me? And the founding member thought that this was so true and so telling that he decided to adopt it. And while some members really don't like running around with a horse or a nag as their symbol, the company has actually done much for the realm, and they tend to pay well. So adventurers from far and wide have joined the nag, and you guys are hired by the nag by an innkeeper by the name of Resk in the city of Greskin. And Resk was a former member, albeit for only a small amount of time, and his daughter has been kidnapped. Some monster, came into the village and absconded his attractive daughter, and you guys have been sent to attempt to retrieve her. So they tell you to head to the city of the town of Greskin and seek out this Resk for as much information and to bring back his daughter.
Sounds like a challenge.
So just recap, we all know each other, right?
Correct. You can be as familiar with each other as you like, or this could be your little first mission with the nag, but you're all as part of that company. Normally with a campaign, I tend to try to do a lot to get people together, but as this is a one-shotter, it's best to have something to unify you guys all together and get you moving into the quest.
So we're already in Grimskin, did you say, or we are traveling to it?
Greskin. You are on the outskirts of this small town.
Okay.
Now, Chase, quick question. I can't remember what your character's name. If you could update me on that real quick.
Dominic.
Okay.
Or my friends, as I assume some of you would call me Dom.
Or Nikki. Just saying.
Yes, one or the other. Those who are a bit more familiar with me call me Nikki as well. So, is Resk a public figure in anybody that we know of already?
The information that you have is Resk is the innkeeper. Let's see here. The information you have is one night Resk discovered Amelia being dragged from her bed by several large individuals. He gave chase, but the monsters moved faster. He lost sight of her as the monsters were entering the wood.
Okay.
So are we going to Greskin, or are we going into this wood?
You were told to head to Greskin to speak with Resk personally. His inn is called the Winged Moon, and you were told that you'd be able to find him there. As you arrive upon the village, although the village is small, you see that care is taken into every aspect. The archway that leads that leads from the path seems to be immaculately carved. The signpost or the post for this arch, you're not certain whether it's actually growing out of the ground or whether it's just implanted there nicely. The wood that makes up this sign is dark and rich, and all over this archway there are images of fae and forest and all things that speak to you of beauty and of nature. And as you look around the town for, again, a village of this size, you would expect to see things a little bit more worn, but everything here seems to be made with care. The villagers that you see walking around, they seem to be even their clothing seems to be made well, and care is put into every single stitch. You do see a very standard pattern of either butterfly wings or fey creatures in most of the buildings, if not every building. And is there any of you that have knowledge religion?
Not me.
I do.
I'm not even going to make you make a check. One of the core nature deity is Belize. She is represented by an elven female with brightly colored butterfly wings, and you see a lot of um, homages or vestiges to her throughout the town.
Okay. So Elvinish with butterfly wings.
Yes.
Okay.
Her domains are nature, beauty, and fey. So where do you guys want to investigate the town? Do you want to head right to the inn?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and grab a passerby and ask him if where the Inn of Resk might be.
The 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 woman, points you in the direction of the winged moon, and she says it's third street on the left. Once you turn the corner, it will be on your right.
I thank you, milady, and I go towards her direction.
Yes, before setting another foot in Greskin, noticing the beautiful carvings, the beautiful people, the beautiful clothing, Fenris is going to adjust himself and his fine clothing and pat it down, trying to get whatever dust and dirt that would have been picked up by the cloth from it, and just situate himself in as proper a manner as can be expected on such short notice.
Short notice, pun intended. So, and anyone else need to do anything before you head to the inn?
I'll, as, who was it, Boris was asking around for the inn? Or no, Chase was.
Chase.
Yeah.
I'll head with him, but as I'm going with him, I'll veer off to the... Oh, sorry, as he's talking to the random folk, I'll ask him, has there been any rumors of late going around in the town?
Are you asking her?
Yeah.
She tells you that several of the villagers will tell stories that every moon people have been taken from the town, never to be seen or heard from again. She believes that Amelia, the daughter of the innkeeper, might be one of these recent victims.
Is there a city wall or a town wall in this settlement?
It's not so much a wall, but there are statues that do ring a section of the town, and you can gather that that's the direction that the monsters have come from. The woods beyond, there are woods all around, but the woods on the other side of the statues definitely seem more foreboding than the others.
Is there a guarded gate with city watch, or just somebody who's checking people coming in and out?
No one stopped you, but there does appear to be some kind of militant station.
Does it look like it's a problem to take a wolf into town?
No. As it seems that the wolf is heeding your command, no one seems to be stopping you. And again, since there is so much reverence for nature in this town, it doesn't seem that you're the only one with some kind of wild creature around.
Oh god, more Beastmasters? God.
Masters all around. All right. Well, in that case, I'll just head straight to the Winged Moon.
Yes,
No one seems to have a problem.
before heading to the Winged Moon, Fenris is going to start snapping his fingers, trying to grab the woman's attention before she walks away. Excuse me, love. Excuse me, love. This is a beautiful town with beautiful architecture and obviously beautiful people. But I have just one final question, if you would be so kind. The people you say who go missing on these full moons, would they happen to be as beautiful as the rest of the denizens of this town and this architecture, of course?
Well, she gives you a wry smile, whether you had meant to offer her a compliment or not. It's clear that she has taken it as such, and she says, "Well, not all are as beautiful as." She pauses a moment to allow you to interpret that as you will, and she finishes off with Amelia.
Ah, yes, 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 yes. Well, that is all of the questions I can possibly think of. At the time, I am of course struck by the wonderment of this grand town and present company. I do have pressing matters. We do need to rescue this poor Amelia, but I hope so much to speak with you again later.
She gives a little curtsy and a nod, and she heads her way, and you guys head yours. So
Dom sighs and asks if are all conversations going to be this superfluous, good sir?
Well, my good friend, manners are a thing.
Ah, yes, that's one thing I never learned.
You guys are now seeing Joseph, a.k.a. call him the mouse. It's faster that way. Just shake his head, look down at the floor, wiggle his halfling toes, and just shake his head again. And go, incredible. Incredible.
So there's three
Why don't we
halflings
go
in
and
this
just
party?
find out where we can find the answers?
So is that correct? There's three halflings in this party?
Yes, there is.
Is that 3 halflings and 2 humans?
Yes.
Nice.
Not a single elf or dwarf. Wow.
That's
Apparently one is called Mouse and one is named after a wolf, so this is going to be great.
that's like
Hey,
3.5 people.
So which subrace for halflings?
Lightfoot.
Stout.
Stout.
Okay. Well, so you guys, travel the few blocks, and you find yourself in front of the Winged Moon. Again, the buildings are nicely constructed and put together. This one does not have as many carvings as some of the other buildings, but it is well managed, well kept. It's fairly early in the morning, so there's not a whole lot of patrons inside.
Oh, good. More drinking for us.
Yeah.
As you enter the well lit building, you see off to the left there's stairs that go up to what you would imagine would be the rooms. There's a handful of heavy oak tables and chairs that are on the one side with the bar right in front. You see an okay looking older woman. Looks like she's setting things up for the day, and there's a man behind the bar, middle aged, and he seems quite distraught. And he's behind the bar and moving rather slowly.
So I'll hold the door open as everyone kind of huddles in, and as the halflings pass by, I'll look down at their feet and I'll say, it's cold outside. You really should get some shoes, otherwise you catch your death of cold.
Mouse responds, I agree, except they don't make any shoes that fit us. And I have a better way of keeping warm. And I head straight up to the bar and peer over the counter, take a coin out and start tapping it. All he sees is my hand and my hat. I kind of look like Indiana Jones But think 3 foot 3 inch tall Indiana Jones.
Wow, huge for a halfling. So he looks up from what he's doing, and looks down in your direction.
I'll join him.
But by chance, do you have any ale?
Aye, that we do.
Pints?
Well, a pint will be like a 64 ounce to us. So I mean,
What?
a pint will do.
I'll say to the barkeep, I'll buy a round for all of us.
Oh, even better.
Starting your drinking early, huh?
I'll just have water, thanks.
Dom is always slightly drunk. Just letting you all know.
Some of the best adventures happen when you are drunk.
Agreed.
Are you saying this in character?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're coming to these parts, the only adventures around here is into the wood, and I'd certainly advise going in there drunk. Advise against.
Yeah, with everyone else drinking some sort of ale, and seeing Delabor not partaking of the ale, Fenris is also not going to be partaking of the ale. And just looking at Delabor, sort of rubbing his forehead, trying to calm himself down. It did seem that we had one or two too many of my kind here, doesn't it?
I like them. My master was a gnome. I'm not saying you're similar at all, but I like the small folk. Good people.
Well, great things do come in small packages, you do now. Especially ones wrapped as finely as me.
No
And
doubt.
Fenris will start climbing up on a bar stool.
So, Resk interrupts your conversation. So what brings you to Greskin?
Ah, a very young and beautiful woman. A particular young and beautiful woman, indeed. I'm always on the lookout for young, beautiful women, but this one is very special to me. Her name is Amelia, I believe.
The only Amelia I know in town is not in town.
I
That
think
would
that's
be
the one he's talking about.
Or are you here to assist my daughter?
Ah, yes, a damsel in distress.
So he sobers up a little bit, straightens up a little bit. So they sent you guys, huh? Have you guys been with the company long?
We were the last resorts. We
Wow.
couldn't find anybody.
This
So-
is my first mission, and hopefully my last.
What? Your last?
I'm traveling to deliver a token of my dead master to his family, but unfortunately, the money that I was going to bequeath to them was stolen along the way, so I'm just here to earn a little money for them, and then I'll be on my way.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your hardships, and unfortunately, you guys aren't really instilling much confidence. If you're the dregs are the only ones that they could grumble up for someone that actually used to be a member.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a drag. I only partake of a very specific sort of mission. This being that particular sort.
Have you had success in the past against monsters?
Oh, monsters, town guard, and all sorts of things.
They are halflings. They're fated for their luck. They'll do okay.
Well, at least some of you are attempting to instill confidence. So, ask your question.
I slam my tankard down and say, "Good sir, though we may not look the best crew, we will do the job."
Yeah. Thank you.
Cassian is kind of like, as you guys are kind of like on, glassy-eyed. Shakes his head. Yeah. How about those adventures?
Do you have a
Well,
soup
here-
bone by any chance?
Do I have a
Here's
what?
not dying.
A soup bone. I have to feed my wolf.
Just remember, feed your wolf without halflings, please.
What are you talking to?
Halflings are not food. I know we taste like chicken, but we're not food.
I can certainly round something up for you.
Great.
So,
Many thanks.
although I might have been an adventurer at a time, I don't necessarily have the same outlook I used to. So feel free to ask your questions, and I'll answer as best as I might.
All righty, I have a question or two for you. This is your daughter that's missing?
Yes, sir.
All right, when did she go missing?
About 8 days ago.
A few days ago?
Yes,
Okay. Where was she last seen?
in the inn with me.
So she left the inn and disappeared?
She was dragged out of bed, I hear.
She was dragged out of the town. We had gone for a stroll, and it was dark, and something came out of the wood. It leapt over the guardian statues, dragged her from my presence, and took her back into the wood. I gave chase, but I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I can't see in the dark. So it eluded us, or eluded me.
Could you see enough to tell if it was humanoid or not?
Aye, it was definitely humanoid.
Did you see anything more specific, Master Rask?
I'm no master. It seemed at least one of them was quite large.
So there are at least two?
Oh, there was the things that come out of the wood. They usually travel in numbers for safety. But one of the creatures that was here was definitely at least 8 foot tall.
8 feet.
That is tall. Were they hirsute?
Were they what?
Hairy?
It was too
Furry?
dark. It was too dark to get details. They stuck to shadows even though the moon was bright.
Was the moon full?
It was.
This is not the only person I'm missing, correct?
No, there have been other reports of members of the town being taken. We do have an order here that seeks to protect those within, and the legends say that the forest on the other side doesn't have the same thing it used to, and it is crept and crawled its way from where it used to be, and it is attempting to invade our borders. So there are some call it trials, some call it wanton destruction. But they attempt to lessen our numbers by taking those they feel are undefended.
Is there any tell or legends as to what this thing that is trying you is?
Well, inside the crawlwood, as the name is come to have, at its core, we believe it is run by a trio of hags. They themselves hardly ever leave the wood, but they have many servants, many things. The wood is evil and is ever changing. The times that I've gone in, over short distances, it might be a luscious and dense forest, and quickly it changes to a swamp or to a clearing. uh, from all reports, it itself changes almost magically, so that repeat trips, the terrain itself, you can't follow a trail, you can't follow your previous footsteps, because they're not going to be there. They're not going to be the same. Again, you might climb a tree and see ahead of you there will be a swamp, but by the time you descend the tree and begin walking, the ground is dry. There is certainly foul magics behind this wood. The denizens that live there, they are dark, they are evil, they are fey. There are things that might seem normal but have been corrupted.
Getting back to this humanoid, you say it was 8 feet. However, like, was it the only one? Did you see anything else?
There were other creatures with it, but they were more my size.
And were those creatures the same looking as this larger one?
I could not discern any details. I just had essentially the silhouette.
Hmm. You must have been very scared for your life.
Well, I'm more worried for her than I am for me.
How many creatures altogether?
I saw 3.
The big one and 2
Oh,
smaller ones?
Yes, sir.
But there may have been more.
There could have certainly been more. That's correct. I did not hear any screams amongst the town other than my daughter. And once she was grabbed, I tended I drowned everything out and gave chase.
The other people who have been taken, was that also during a full moon?
Yes, as the reports go.
That is not good.
Well, my good man, you mentioned that you gave chase. In what particular direction did you give this chase?
He takes you to where you can see the statues on the outskirts of town, and he gives a direct point. There's a tree that has different color leaves, at least at the moment, and he says towards that tree there with the dark red leaves.
Hmm.
Is there anyone in town who has been to these woods and come back to tell the tale?
I'm certain you can find several who have ventured in, but I'm not certain what you hope to gain. As I said, the wood itself changes, so that every time you're there, it's different.
Well, someone who has experienced it would be useful.
So I would head over to our blacksmith,
I was
Laron.
just heading there anyway.
What's his name? Sorry.
Laron.
Laron. Okay.
Well, the woods, you say, change. Swamps becoming fields and trees and whatnot. While in the woods, though, have you ever noticed the sun rising or setting in any direction that it shouldn't?
No, that to my knowledge I've never heard of it, and no one has reported it to me.
Well, if that's not the case, that should solve our problems.
Has there been any stories of creatures of the like coming out other than full moons?
Not to my knowledge, but it's possible. As innkeeper, I do hear most of the tales.
Is it always young women as well, or is it both male and female?
I would say it's more female than men, but I believe it's usually due to convenience, and unfortunately, you know, women are easier to grab off. Although usually the women of this place, you know, are a little more hardy. We do have training here.
Yes. Yes, you must be it seems you must be strong in a place like this.
We must. The shrine in the center of town is a holy relic to our deity, and we defend this town. Otherwise, we would not stay so close to an area that is as dangerous as it is.
Hmm.
Commendable.
I have another question for you.
Absolutely.
As we were coming up, we saw a lot of Fae symbols and uh, all over the other homes and other buildings. Not so much around this one. What is the background to that?
I'm not as
Fae?
why Fae, or why are there less around the inn?
No, what is the local legend about the Fae?
Well, the Fae are the chosen of Our Lady Belize. Elves, sprites, all these type of creatures. They're they're natural. They're part of her order.
Fenris will start sort of stroking his chin and closely examining the sides of either side of the head of Resk.
Okay. He is clearly human, if that's what you're looking for. My ears aren't pointy, little one. Is that what you're looking for? We got no sound, Nelson.
No audio.
You did say chosen and whatnot, and well, any lead would be a good one.
Well, no, my daughter's is a half elf. Is her mother is no longer in town. She is unfortunately no longer with us.
And when he says the mention of half elf, Fenris just goes,
Does Fenris have a thing for elven or half elven women?
I mean, if you want to blow up Fenris' spot, I did choose the background where he has like a, for lack of a better word, obsession with women.
Okay.
And
What background is that?
it's the charlatan.
Oh, okay.
It's some of the features in charlatan.
Okay.
But the fact that she's half elven, and they say that Fae are the chosen, and she simply has been chosen by someone.
Okay.
There may indeed be more to what's going on than initially thought.
No one gets chosen to be dragged out of their house in the middle of the night by an 8-foot-tall beast.
Well, I'm not saying both parties were consensual, but therein lies our predicament.
So, do you have any more questions, or do you want me to take you to Laron?
I'm ready to go see the blacksmith.
Laron.
Laron it is.
So he takes you down a couple streets, points off into a direction where you can clearly see a wooden sign inlaid with an intricate metal design of an anvil.
How big is this town, Ted?
It would be a large town. Several dozen houses, handful of businesses, but you've only got the one inn. You do have a town center-esque kind of building where clearly there's room, some large rooms inside, and if you ask around, you'll find that there is a training ground in there that's where they handle politics, as well as there are shrines in there. Beyond that, there is a single church. They do allow like other religions to worship here, but the primary altar is, as you would gather, two beliefs.
If you were looking to pick up some armor, would you go to the blacksmith, or is there someone more specialized?
The blacksmith would be where to go.
Same with weapons.
Yes.
Okay. As I'm walking with the group with Resk, I kind of turn to Resk and I ask, this Laron, what's his last name, if he has one?
Well, Resk actually pointed you, and then after you guys started walking down the road, he headed back.
Okay. Wow. Then scratch that.
So
that seemed to go well, gentlemen.
Right. So assuming Laron, the blacksmith's place, is not too far from this tavern or the inn.
Yeah, he took you to the street that it was on, pointed you, the several buildings down the marketplace, and once you guys were heading that direction, he hot-footed it back to the inn, or you can guess that's where he went.
I flip him a gold coin and thank him for his services just before we leave. As he's leaving. Okay.
You guys see that the mouse still has his mug with him, and he's still slowly taking care of his alcohol, not downing it all. He's still nursing it.
Leave some for tomorrow, little man.
Yeah. Well, seeing that our friend Mouse
is and pours into his water skin.
Seeing is that our friend Mouse is dedicated to becoming inebriated, Fenris walks over to Cassian and just nudges him. I do believe what he wants is his daughter and not more gold coins to add to his collection.
I was just simply helping him be on his way with troubled times and thanking him for the useful information that we could use.
So the door to the smithy is open, and there's no actual sign. Like there's the sign of the anvil, but there's nothing, no nameplate, nothing that actually names the business.
So just walk in and look around the business end of the shop.
So, shockingly or unshockingly, however you want to take it, a powerfully built woman with long red hair is standing behind a counter. Looks like she is hanging up some of the wares. She is wearing a sleeveless tunic, and she clearly is the one who works the hammer and anvil, because she is laden with muscle.
I look over to Fenris and I see his ears kind of getting red, and I kind of put out my hand just to kind of stop him a little bit. She could manhandle you with ease, my friend. Stay back.
Well, I can say I wouldn't be opposed to that.
So hearing you enter, whether she caught word of your comment, you're not certain. And though she's powerfully built, her soft voice is kind of a shock to you. Good day, my fine sirs, and what brings you to the Silver Anvil?
Are you Mistress Laron?
I don't know so much about the mistress part, but I am Laron, the smith.
Would you happen to have a chain shirt I could purchase?
I do indeed have several arms and armament for sale.
Well, if you would be so kind as to measure me and point me in the direction of one that would fit, I would be very grateful.
Absolutely, and she pulls out a fine piece of sturdy rope, hemp, and she begins getting some standard measurements off of you. She does it with practiced ease.
So,
are you looking for a full shirt, or are you looking for the whole mail?
I am looking for just a shirt, something that will protect me without weighing me down.
Indeed.
We are to head into the wood
Mm.
on the morrow.
And what business is bringing you there?
We were contracted to look for Amelia, the daughter of the innkeeper.
Well, that is dire business indeed. So she finishes up. She heads over to a back room and grabs something, and it fits like a glove.
Very nice.
So since you are attempting to help a dear friend of mine, I am actually willing to give that to you at cost. So 25 gold if you have it, sir.
I'll reach into my purse and start counting it out. I probably lose track because I'm not used to handling money.
While he's counting up,
So,
Fenris is going to run up and spin on top of the counter that she was standing behind, so he can have a slightly elevated view and just press himself forward and admire the sight of such a well-built female.
She's definitely has an athletic build, more laden with muscle, but not grotesquely so. Slightly better than average face. Her hands definitely are calloused from many hours spent in front of heat and forge, and very familiar with handling both arms and anvil, or arms and hammer alike.
Without much tact at all, Fenris just blurts out, "Well, it's not so often the beautiful curves of a woman serve such a practical means."
Are you hitting on me, little one?
Our friend had a pint. Don't mind him.
I'm not hitting on her. Speak for yourself, lad.
Dominic just lets out a hearty laugh from the back of the room. He finds this all very amusing.
Well, hitting on is such a grotesque term. I would prefer to just say engaging in polite conversation.
So it's not flirting. You're just trying to. Are you trying to woo me then, or are you trying to butter me up to try and get a better deal?
I think if it's polite,
I am not
polite
in need
conversation, you're supposed to be looking at her face.
eyes up here.
Well, he'd be looking at her arms and admiring the actual curves and musculature. Well, forgive me. As I said, it's not every day one can see such a woman of glorious form.
No, there are those that have a differing opinion. But is there business that brings you to my shop? He has sought here armor. What about the rest of you?
Well, I'm
think what
not
my
in
friend
need of
is
any armor, but I do recall you mentioning Amelia was a friend of yours.
I am friend to Resk more than Amelia, but I definitely know of her.
Oh, this terrible business this is. Well, uh, we have come into knowledge that Amelia is not the first to be taken during a full moon.
That is what I have heard, although I have not seen direct action.
Would you happen to know any of the other unfortunates?
I do not.
Hmm. Terrible business. Terrible.
Resk told us that you have been to the woods.
I have ventured in a number of times. There was once that I heard that there was uh, a certain type of metal. Other times there's been a certain what's the word I'm looking for? A certain type of tree that grows at a certain time of year, and if harvested, they provide exceptional materials. And I not only am a smith, but I am a carver, a creator. I love working with tools, and I'm trained in hammer and blade as much in practical means as well as in combat. So I have ventured in.
A fellow wood carver. I admire your craftsmanship that you have on display here, and I just kind of like walk around the shop area.
Yeah, Fenris just goes, hmm.
Well,
Master Resk was a little unclear as to what kinds of creatures took his daughter. I was wondering if you could provide us with some more precise information. It's always good to know what you're up against.
There are many types of denizens that call the Crawlwood home. Now, the legends say that hags live in the center, though I've never seen them. Trolls, spiders, the mushroom men. These are all things that I myself have done battle with. Although if the time of year is right, it has been known to run rampant with undead, and typically undead of the sort that I've just mentioned. A time or two, I've actually done battle with former members of the town, risen from the dead.
What time of year is this at? Dom picks up or says from the back.
It is currently spring now. Undead have been known to have more of a they arrive more in the winter.
Because it's cold.
But the Crawlwood is teeming with chaos, so you can't hold true to patterns.
Would you say that there's a particular kind of weapon that we might need if we were to venture in there? Some people say around such creatures you need enchanted items or silver and such things.
Now the denizens herein, I've never had issue using the things that I myself have made, and I do not know the magics to create weapons of such. But again, against the creatures I have faced, my weapons have served just fine.
Mouse walks up to her, pulls out his short sword, and says, "Could you do me a favor then? How much would it cost you to sharpen my short sword? It's been a little dinged, and I need it nice and sharp if we're going to go out in the woods."
I can do that for a gold.
Takes out the gold and hands it straight to her.
So she steps over to a foot pedal grinding wheel, and yeah, she starts pumping. She she puts on a leather apron, and within just a few moments, that wheel is spinning pretty fierce, and she gets that blade razor sharp in just a few minutes.
Yeah. As she does that, Fenris leans a little bit more forward on the countertop. He's sitting and goes,
Watch your eyes. The sparks will get in there.
Oh yes.
I fully expected you to be sitting down with your feet up watching Nelson.
Watch out! You're drooling there a bit, Fenris.
Oh, how unsightly.
I ask her. I kind of like as she's sharpening her blades. You wouldn't happen to have any silver great
Any what?
silver greatswords?
Silvered greatsword. No, we I might have some weapons that have had silver lining once, but not a. Although the place is called the Silver Anvil, I don't have much call for that around here.
Oh, the irony. Oh, okay. All right, fine. No worries.
I too wouldn't mind having my short swords sharpened. So I
After the
take them out of their scabbards and put them down on the counter in front of her.
No, she responds in kind. You know, same price as your friend there. And
I will put a gold coin in front of her.
she hops to it. You know, manages to get through in fairly record time. Once she finished, she looks to Timmy's character, and she marvels at the fact that this 3-foot man has got a sword that's over 5 foot long. Says, how do you not trip on that thing?
I kind of look over to Fenris. Did you hear what she just said?
She asked you how do you not trip over that thing.
I not only that he's got a great sword, but he's also got a maul.
Dear Lord.
A what?
A maul.
A shopping mall,
Okay.
He takes over his great sword, like, and clang, clang, clang onto the counter. I've had some practice. Usually, you got to put your weight into it a little bit.
You don't have much of that.
Well, you got to have sturdy feet.
Oh, worry not for Cassian, my beautiful little songbird. Some men unfortunately find the need to compensate for other areas.
Well, my good sirs, is there anything else that I might be able to assist you with, or before you head into the wood?
Mouse takes his hat off, bows politely to her, thanks her for the work on the sword, gives her a wink, and says, "I'm done. Thank you."
But before heading out, Fenris will, rummage around in his belt pouch and pull out a single gold coin. It's a gold coin for sharpening, yes?
Yes.
Hops off the counter, lays it on the counter, taps it twice. Well, there may be quite a bit of fighting and a bit of dulling of my blade. I will indeed need a sharpening when I get back, and hopefully you'll be here. And he'll just spin on his heels and walk away.
She sighs and shakes her head as you exit the premises.
I have not heard that halflings were so randy.
Well, Mouse comes up behind Fenris and grabs him by the ear and starts dragging him out. "Come along, lad. Come along. Control your urges."
Ah, but Fenris is deft at dodging, is he not?
And then he puts it in your ear and says, "And be careful of the other one. That sword's big enough to chop us both in half with one swing." And I turn and I walk off to the side.
Her name's Lucille.
All right. So, is there any other business you guys have in town, or do you wish to enter into the Crawlwood?
What time of day is it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
You guys have been chatting for a while, so I would imagine we're approaching noon.
Oh,
Oh.
Cool. You mentioned that there was a central hub, right, where they basically get trained for combat and other things, their
Yes.
religion and whatnot. I think Fenris will begin heading towards that central hub.
Okay. So you make your way to the center of town, and growing out of the ground is this massive stone. It is just the make of the stone itself. You can't describe it other than it's just beautiful. Each of you might see something different, but what you see is sheer beauty. Carved into at least one face of the stone is the completely lifelike in every aspect and detail is this beautiful woman, very very elven, long hair that drapes down to at least her hips, if not down to her knees. A small draconic like creature is captured in flight above her. Stars and moons carved above her, and her wings seem to encompass everything that's in the picture, as they are almost as big as she is. You swear her eyes, because again the detail is so vivid, not only see you, but see into you.
Well, upon seeing this, again, he stops and readjusts his finery, trying to look as best as he can conceivably can, and feeling like she's looking through him, just to make sure nobody else is behind him. Puts on
behind you.
his best fake smile, gives the statue a wink, and begins to walk away, keeping his eyes locked with the statues for as long as possible, just to see if it actually is looking at him.
You don't ever see anything move, but as long as you are looking at it, it appears to be looking at you. You can't track eye movement, but it's definitely still looking at you.
It's kind of like a painting when you're walking by.
Right, except it's carved out of stone.
Yeah. So this statue, it's always a different statue for every person in town who looks upon it, or is it the same one?
You don't. What I described is what you see.
Okay.
Everyone actually can view it possibly differently. The stone itself is the only thing that the makeup of the stone is what people see.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna pause and close my eyes for a few seconds, and I'm going to try to get a feel of the lay of the land and see if there are any outsider type creatures in this square, but also within a 1 mile radius. So I have this primeval awareness.
Okay.
That allows me to detect, I think, undead and fae.
The paladin?
Ranger.
Okay, the ranger check. Yeah, you don't see anything or you don't feel anything that would be threatening in this area.
And there's no sense that the statue is something other than what it seems, at least using this.
You sense that there's a power to it, but nothing dark or any of that.
As Fenris leaves, I kind of like watches as he goes and kind of look at the statue.
It doesn't seem to react.
All right, walk away. Actually, come back, take a second look. Dealing with my arcane capabilities, do I feel any sense of arcane, um, I don't know, symbolism or feeling to it? Would I be kind of connected into it in some sort of shape of way?
No, you probably have the feeling this is more of a religious artifact.
Okay. 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 So, okay. Walk away.
But I mean, you get the sense without even casting spells that there is an aura of power around this thing.
Okay.
So what information are you looking to gather from the central building? Because Fenris, it looks like you're currently leading this charge.
Well, the summary of it, it's basically whoever's there that I can engage with. Fenris is simply going to bring up Amelia, the current young lady that is missing, that went missing on the previous full moon, and ask questions about the full moons before that when individuals went missing, and of what gender and race might they have been.
The majority of the people in this town are human, elven, and half elven. Although there might be the odd dwarf or halfling that tend to reside here. The nuts and bolts of it. You find that majority of the people who have been taken have been female. It almost always happens around the full moon. Might be just before or just after, so it's not always during the full moon. You gather that the denizens of the wood are trying to weaken the town because they wish to, or the town believes that they wish to corrupt the shrine and use it to make the wood more powerful and steal it for their dark masters. But the fact that the shrine literally comes out of the ground, it can't be moved. The guardian statues at the edge of town, as long as there are people in the town, believing what's going on and willing to defend the town, they, the guardian statues prevent the crawlwood from getting any closer than it currently is.
All right, but the gender is primarily female.
Yes.
And the race, is there a particular pattern to the race?
That they haven't seen that now.
So if I ask them and take, notes.
The 3 humans, 2 elves, 2 half elves. Based on the last, that's clearly 7 months. Details get sketchy. It's not like they have reports on it.
Who are you talking to?
He's gathering information from the people at the town center. I'm trying to speed things along so we don't go too late. I love role playing, but I want to give you guys the full adventure, and I'd hate to have to cut things short.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna head back over to the inn.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna stand around and see if I can spot any animals that look like they hang out there most of the time. Birds perching on the roof, dogs in the vicinity that seem like they would have a good eye shot or scent of things that happen there on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
And if it looks like there is such a creature, I'm going to come up to it and I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. Well, we'll say that you're able to find a bird.
All right. So I will cast the spell and I will say, "Hello, my fine feathered friend. I noticed that you live here and packet seeds on the ground in front of this inn, and I wanted to ask if you remember anyone being dragged out of this building.
Sadly, I don't know how intelligent the spell allows them to communicate. Um, the bird says that I'm only awake in the daytime. I have never seen the monsters come from the wood and drag anyone off.
Would you know of any other creature that has a dog, perhaps, or a cat that chases you around?
No, I tend to
Might be up at night.
I tend to stay quite high, and I come here because this town or this area has an acceptance, and the animals all tend to live well together.
Well, I will then thank you for your help and wish you the best.
Thank you, you as well.
Right. So, what did we find out?
Nothing.
We found out nothing.
So what are you guys doing now?
We did manage to find out that the previous 7 victims happened to be more often than not Fae in their ancestry. When he was telling me who went missing, the 3 humans, the 2 elves, and the 2 half-elves that went missing prior to Amelia, when the humans went missing, as far as like dates,
Right.
were they consecutive?
Nah, it seems that despite you're trying to find a pattern, it seems very 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 chaotic, and it could possibly be that it's just random happenstance, or a situation of snatch and grab, and who is the
All right. Well,
most
if my questions are indeed do not pertain to the adventure, as this is supposed to be a one shot, please let me know, because when you do get me personally interested in investigating, I will ask an entire amount of questions to extrapolate the answers, because
it seems that you've reached the end. There doesn't seem to be enough details to gather any more intel than what you've got.
Well, that depends. See, if the first one was human, and then the next one was Fae, depending on whether it was an elf or half-elf, then the third one could have been human. The creatures might not have understood the difference between Fae and non-Fae within the village. Because there is the odd occurrence of halfling and dwarf, which are particularly different in appearance than human and elven and half-elven. Half-elven, human, and elven do have a similarity, and in the night, during the full moon, there may be a case of mistaken identity.
Given that logic, you could go with it, but no one is able to accept or deny your claim. So it might be something that you could put together and say, well, this is my logic, this is my train of thought, but no one but the monsters who have been there will be able to tell you for sure.
Do we know by any chance why it's called the Crawlwood?
That was kind of explained. If you missed it,
Maybe I missed
the wood itself was not as close to the town it is now, and it has grown and corrupted the forest around it, and it has literally crawled closer and closer to the edge of town, and because it has moved, because there is creepy crawly things within it, and because it has seemingly the magic to change itself, it's been adopted.
The wood itself is sentient.
Yes.
Would you agree that the wood itself, forests and bushes and trees, and would you agree that would be sentient in nature?
All woods are living beings, and thus sentient in their own way.
Yeah, but to move this quickly and to... This is not good.
No. We should probably start
Head
heading in
water.
before it starts getting dark.
Well, it wouldn't have gotten dark if we were so busy asking so many questions. We could have been in there not by now.
It's good to know where you're
We're in
going.
the woods. We even lost if you haven't noticed, we even lost one of our own members. We were so busy asking questions we weren't looking out for each other.
He's passed out drunk. I'm trying to wake him up.
I'm the one that's been drinking. And I'm still sober.
We have no word from why Chase popped. I don't know whether he lost the connection or what
I
happened.
think he's got a bad connection, yeah.
Hopefully he'll rejoin us. I don't have anything email or Facebook from him, so we'll see what happens. I hope he returns. So, are you guys heading into the wood, or are we heading somewhere else? What's the plan?
I'm going to head into the wood, but as I do, I'll start at the inn, and I'm going to attempt to track something that isn't human. If I can pick up some other set of tracks.
As it's been days since the kidnapping, you're not really able to find any trail, because the paths in town are heavily laden with footprints of humanoids as people live and move through town quite normally.
Raising his hand, half impatiently, twiddling his fingers. Dole, he did say that they jumped over the Guardian statues. Maybe we should try looking for tracks there?
Well, yes, you're right. But I thought if I could see something here, this could aid us.
Well, don't get me wrong. I do not wish to overstate or underestimate your expertise. However, there is a great deal of traffic here, and I mean, if you want more reasons to stay around and look at the beautiful people, just let me know. I'd understand.
No, I think we should leave the beautiful people be and free of our interest in them.
Yes, I think it is time we take our leave from the other beautiful people. And he'll rummage around and take a slightly curved stick from his back and a string and begin stringing his short bow.
All right, so when you get to the edge of town, the statues all are elven in design. They're all clearly armored and they've got weapons, but everyone is distinct and different in some way, shape, or form. It could be the size, it could be the weapon, it could be the detail on the armor, how it's holding itself, as well as each face seems different as well. It's all locked forward, and as you examine them, they're all slightly angled differently, and you see that it clearly makes a line out, to make sure that all of the wood is in one in the cone of their gaze, if you will.
So like they're like sentinels?
Yes.
Do they have any names on them or stuff like that there?
There is no names, nothing to identify them other than as I said, the visage, the weapons, the armor.
All right.
How far away from the wood is the statues?
Several hundred feet.
Okay.
As they're checking out the statues, I'm going to begin doing what I was doing over by the inn. Just looking to see if I can pick up any set of footprints that's leading into the crawlwood.
Okay. You can make either an investigation or perception, whatever is better for you.
How about survival track?
Oh, yeah, that works too. That's
All
fine.
right.
I'll allow you just to kind of protect you from surprise.
I'll have the wolf help you out there. That is a 17.
Yeah, you can
Nice.
clearly find something that can get you moving in the right direction.
Can I tell who it belongs to and how many and who the last people to head in that direction were?
Well, I imagine you were looking for the large footprint.
Yeah, that specifically.
Yeah, and so yeah, you're able to find that, and it's clearly had rain and sun beat down on the footprint over the last several days. So it took an expert's eye to find it and follow it.
Can I identify it?
No, you cannot. It's other than some bizarrely shaped large humanoid. Yeah, it's like there are some kind of toe indentations, but they're not marking towards any one particular one particular humanoid that you've actually seen.
But it's bipedal.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's got big claw prints, I'm assuming.
They're not like huge claws. There's definitely toe indentations, so you can see that there's a foot there. But like usually creatures of this size, they would have the clawed toes or something that would go with it, and it's not. Like it's actually got like almost pointy toes, and it's not a footprint that you've come across before.
Yes. Pretending to help and pretending to know what's going on. Fenris will be, overlooking this discovery. Taking out an arrow and just sort of laying the arrow just above what it looks like Dole is looking at, like measuring the dimensions and comparing it to the side of. Oh, interesting. Very. Just making a show of what he's doing.
Mouse continues to shake his head at Ferris's actions.
So, Ferris, how big is it?
It's about 8 feet tall. It's I can't figure out what it is. I've never seen anything like it before.
Then, okay, I'll ask the ranger then, can you track it? You have enough.
I think I can track it into the woods, yes.
Then let's go.
Sounds good to me.
Wasting daylight.
Speaking of which,
daylight? Yeah, how much daylight do we have left?
Well, I don't imagine you guys spent too much time at the town center, so I'm going to say we're probably early afternoon, 2 o'clock ish, if you would.
Good.
Speaking of daylight, Master Halflings, can you see in the dark?
Nope.
Well, I wouldn't say I can see in the dark, but if you just give me a moment, and he starts digging around in his pockets, and he sort of, turns his back to the rest of them and sprinkles something on his arrow, and blowing on the tip, and then the tip lights up as he casts the light spell on his arrowhead.
Well, let's not attract any undue attention to ourselves yet.
Save it for the night. Save it for the night.
In fact, as we approach the wood itself, I'm going to take out a pinch of ash from my pouch, and I'm going to say, Crawlwood, cover us in your shadows. And I'm going to throw up this pinch of ash, and cover ourselves with concealing shadow of passing without a trace, which
Nice.
makes everyone's effective dexterity 10 points higher than it actually is.
Fenris just begins.
Done.
What's that?
Oh, enough with the drama, Fenris.
Okay.
So, yeah, once this kind of canopy is draped over us, I will proceed to follow these tracks, and my natural explorer ability allows me to do this at normal pace. So we'll
Okay.
just go along, well, as fast as the little hobbit feet can carry their owners.
Did he call us a hobbit?
Oh,
I did.
God.
I think
I
opposed to
would
that.
like
What? Oh,
to
thank
mention
you.
that I
God.
did
God,
not a
what
hobbit.
is it? What is this?
Oh, I've lost the only other human. Great.
Yep.
Just because he could look down on us, he thinks he could look down on us. I can't believe this man. Anyway, let's.
Oh, I thought this is
24.
what you called yourselves. I apologize.
So as you guys head into the forest, the amount of trees tend to thicken. The thick forest darkens as you move deeper within. What little light leaks in through the canopy above does not help much, making visibility difficult except for those gifted with the ability to see in poor conditions. Wide trees grow here, so moving in a straight line is all but impossible. You can easily stretch out your arms and touch a tall, thick tree with both hands. Smaller trees are scattered here and there, and the smell of earth and vegetation is naturally strong. Those with a fondness for nature feel as if this area suffers from an unnatural corruption, though not as strongly as compared to deeper within.
The air's close in here.
Yes. Let's keep our breathing measured. Can wolves see in the dark, Ted? They can't officially, but
Yeah,
can they?
I would absolutely say wolves should have dark vision.
All right.
Most. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop a small carrot in my mouth and chew it up and rub the juice on my thumb and then rub my thumb over my eyes. So I can now see in the dark.
Okay.
And I will tell everyone to follow close as we keep tracking this creature.
I pull out Lucille, the greatsword, and put it out in front of me, and like a blind person, kind of like clang, 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 like tap it like a cane. Clang, 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 clang. Trying to feel around as I.
Mouse stops, takes off his backpack, goes rummaging on the inside, pulls out a hooded lantern, puts some oil in it, lights it, and says, "With the noise we're making, we might as well put on a light." And lights up a hooded lantern. Then hangs it on the front end of the human. So you can just light up as he walks ahead of us. Like a train. We're the car, just he's the engine.
You know, I can see.
We can't.
Well,
And he might as well know we're coming. He's making so much noise.
perhaps if we can stop with the clanging and the flashing, we can get to where we're going without being seen. If I see anything, I will let you know.
Yeah, but what if we trip over roots and rocks? Or the amount of armor that I'm.
Just follow me. I'll lead you down a path where there are no crags.
My good man, Delabro, now you are the expert here. I do not question that. But I was told growing up that the lights of, say, a fire or whatnot, maybe a bit of noise does tend to keep the critters of the forest away. Wouldn't the light actually benefit us in more ways than just sight?
You don't spend a lot of time in the woods, do you, Master Halfling?
Well, look at what it's doing to these fine pants of mine.
So while you guys are talking, Jose, an odd sensation comes across you. Can you make a wisdom save for me?
Okay, hold on. Let me get my stats up on that one. Yeah, okay. There you go. A plus a 1, so 17.
Okay. So the sensation that came across, you felt some kind of compulsion to start dancing. You managed to resist the effects, but you felt something happened and you had the urge to just start dancing.
Okay.
The rest of you kind of hear a slight giggle coming from the left.
Can we see
Prentice-
anything?
Quit about Laurent.
Cassian, that wasn't a joke. I was being serious. You don't have to laugh. It's very unbecoming.
What are you talking about? That wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to move in the direction of where this laughing was coming from.
I sheathe my sword and draw an arrow from my quiver and set it in my bow. And I follow it.
You look around. The laughter seems to have stopped, and you don't see a thing.
Well,
As you're looking around, trying to figure out what's going on, one of the arrows from your quiver, Nelson, starts lifting out of its own accord.
All right. As Fenris and I are beckoning, I kind of stop in the middle of sentence and kind of look around. Ted, can I make a perception check?
You can.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
To see where this sound is coming from.
Okay.
I am indeed going to grab that arrow.
So you feel a resistant force on the arrow. What is your strength?
A whopping 8.
All right. You are losing the battle against this arrow. The perception check was what, Sam?
17.
All right. You can discern the direction, and you look off to the left, but for the life of you, you can't see what could possibly have made that sound.
As Fenris is...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as Fenris is losing the battle and this arrow's flying up into the air slowly through his grip, he's, grabbing at it desperately.
Oh, fine. Okay, I reach out. I grab it with one hand while resting the great sword on my shoulder.
So as you guys do this, lights spring up, completely surrounding you guys, and they literally begin like bobbing and weaving up and down.
the lights begin bobbing and weaving?
Absolutely.
Are they directly in front of us as we follow these tracks, or are they off to the side?
They're kind of surrounding you in a circular or square-like pattern.
I'll say
if any of you want to make a knowledge arcana check, I'll allow that. Or just a arcana.
I'll try it. Oh, that'll be 22 for me.
Yeah, this is a very very minor spell, commonly referred to as dancing lights. As you guys are all panicked by these lights, the laughter seems to have moved a little bit, but it intensifies.
Pardon me, I, Fenris, am not panicked at these lights. I was in a tavern, they did this once there. There was maidens on elevated. It's not the time. What about my arrow?
So I've got a hold of this arrow as I'm looking around.
What's your strength,
Looking
Tim?
at the lights. Strength would be 17.
Yeah, you managed to wrest whatever was attempting to hold on to it.
Okay, so I grab it out of the air and pull it down and give it back to Fenris as I look around and I say, somebody's toying with us.
Yes. I'll say, creatures of the Crawlwood, we are following the tracks of a monster that has stolen a human from the town, a half-elf. We mean you no harm, and we mean the wood no harm either. Please let us pass.
One second. All right. Boris, can you make a wisdom save?
All right. What's that, a 10?
It's a 10. Yep.
So that would be a 12.
All right. So as you finish your sentence, you poof, and you are currently a rabbit.
Oh, man.
The laughter erupts, and off to the one side. Clearly, it's moved from when you last saw it. You see a slightly draconic form. You've heard tale of what typically is referred to as fairy dragons, but you've never seen one that is black with splotch marks and holes in its wings, with dark red eyes, but is perched about 25 feet in the air not perched, but yeah, perched about 25 feet in the air on one of these tree branches, and it is giggling intensely.
Okay, when I said toying, that's too much toying! And I lift up my greatsword and I ready myself.
We're going to go into initiative, or can I just go ahead and shoot?
No, you can attempt to shoot or talk or what have you.
I'm going to attempt to stop laughing hilariously.
You're gonna.
I'm not quite sure if Fenris would be succeeding at halting his own laughter, as this indeed is a very amusing predicament. There may be the odd word or two spouted out. If you could change forms, why choose a bunny? Wouldn't your pet wolf eat you?
I don't think it was his choice.
I guess we see his true form.
I walk up behind Ferris, grab him by the hair, point his head up.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Do you know how long it takes to get it looking so? Oh, goodness.
I'm going to hop over and try to bite him in the foot.
Who are you attempting to bite?
Fenris.
So, are you guys? Do you want to enter initiative? Do you wish to talk and negotiate with the creature? What are you looking to do?
I'm going to try persuasion to talk him to come down.
All right. What are you saying?
Hello, little one. I enjoy your trick. And I put my bow and my arrow down and away. And says, would you mind coming down and helping us, answering a couple of our questions?
I would like to know how to turn him into a bunny myself.
That'll be a 10. Persuasion.
Got anything shiny?
I reached into a pocket and I pulled out a silver coin.
Anything shinier?
And
What is he speaking? Is he speaking common?
He's speaking common, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jose.
Yeah. No, I just pulled out a silver coin.
And he said, do you have anything shinier?
I raise my the arrow that's lit with the light spell. Well, you can't get much more shinier than actually illuminated, can you?
He cast dancing lights around you again.
Ah, so more reflective than luminescent. And
I like trinkets.
Fenris will walk over to whatever gear was left behind when Dole was transformed to a bunny.
All of his stuff shifted with him.
Oh, it shifted with him?
Yes.
So he goes, Well, I'll tell you what, if you can teach me how to turn him back into a bunny when he misbehaves, and I'll rummage through my pouch and pull out a gold coin.
You're not like me. It takes 50 years to be able to do that. How old are you?
I am pressed for time, you know.
How old are you?
Well, it's very ungentlemanly-like to ask one his age. I tell you something else I can do that you may appreciate.
What's that?
And he'll take a deep breath in, start wiggling his fingers through the air, and making a very extravagant flowing lines, and put his hand in a tube shape up to his mouth and fire a bolt of fire into the sky.
Well, I guess that concludes negotiations.
Or did you add him or just in the air?
Just into the sky.
Oh. Never mind.
That's interesting. I can't play with fire.
That is interesting.
How about this? You give me that coin, and I'll fix your friend.
I start twirling the coin around. Well, you seem to come out the better beneficiary in this deal.
Don't think about it. Just give the damn coin to the goddamn dragon.
And has the dragon come down yet, or is he still in 25 feet?
He's still up there.
He halfway raises the coin. I very well can't reach that high.
Just throw the damn thing.
He looks around and starts motioning underhanded to throw it.
As he's doing his Dolabar is our only chance.
2, 2.5.
Oh, God.
Oh, here you go. And underhand, chucks it upwards.
So he flies down as low as he needs to, and deftly catches the coin out of the air. The moment that his talons lock on the coin, two things happen. Boris is poofed back into a human, and the little draconic creature vanishes from view.
All right. I'll shake myself off any residual rabbit fur, and I'll bow in the direction of where he was, and I'll say, "That was well done, Master Dragon."
You hear a brief tittering, and you can hear it leaving the area.
All right. Let us be on our way. This is not what we're looking for.
Oh, sure.
If we have to pay off this monster that we're hunting, this will be the end of our careers.
Was there any mention of how much we're supposed to be paid for this?
No.
You agreed upon a price, but no, that wasn't determined because didn't feel it wasn't necessary because one shot.
Right. Well,
There is a damsel in need. What is this notion of monetary gain?
well, it's just a question of how many fairy dragons there are.
Mouse is now looking at Ferris, and he's just staring at him and looking at him like, you are an idiot. Absolute idiot. It's always about the profit.
Yes.
All right, so you guys begin your trek, and you travel for a while, and you get to begin experiencing that subtle or quick shifting pattern within the wood itself. You see a variety of different plants, things that nature has warped and twisted. You see tall trees that look like they should be growing strong, and yet in the wind they sway like reeds. You almost like tread carefully, afraid that trees as tall as you're walking beneath are going to snap and fall and crush you all. But despite their swaying in the wind, they remain sturdy and strong. And you manage to get through that, and the ground begins to moisten at your feet, and clearly you're heading into a murky swamp. Around you betrays your presence as each lift of your feet causes the water to suck at you while sloshing behind as you move ahead, leaving you with the certainty it will be impossible to cross this area without being heard. The foliage sways in the wind, the distant trees tall and thickly, while nearing they are thin and sickly. Plant life drips as if with perspiration, and hangs low as if bowing before an executioner. Every so often you can see movement in the water, but are unable to determine whatever was there. Small creatures litter the area with lizards and spiders and odd fish moving around. The further you travel, the water seems to grow deeper, gradually climbing up your legs. Every so often something uncomfortable caresses your calf below the waterline. When you look, there is nothing to be found. So for you halflings, the water is literally up to your waist. For the human, it's up to your calf at this point in time.
I'll take.
This is gonna rust my armor.
I can take one of you on my shoulders, carry a second, and put the third on Kalavul, my wolf.
I sort of just raise my hand and like excitedly wave it around. Don't forget the one who did manage to get you turned back from that little bunny.
Very well. Up on my shoulders you go.
So as you reach down to pick up Fenris, the water about 30 feet in front of you sucks and moves as if something below begins to emerge. Rising out of the swamp is an eerie creature indeed. A bulbous head like that of an octopus with a sharp beak sits atop its massive body. The towering creature easily topping 9 feet and stretching more than 3 feet wide. At the end of each of its thick of appendages sprouts a cluster of tentacles. The thing lets out a roar from a second mouth near its central mass, this massive orifice appearing to hold trapped within a body of some sort, leaving you desperately hoping that this will not be your fate.
Ugh. I'm gonna make a Arcana check to determine what this creature is.
You can, but it's going to be exceptionally difficult.
Okay. Or what may be related to.
You could make Arcana or Nature, but like I said, either check, it's going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. So that will be initiative. If you guys would not mind putting your initiative results in the chat below.
Let's see here. Oh, for Christ, straight to 120. Come on. Oh, 11.
So we have a 22. Whoa. And a 24. Dear Lord. So we have Jose, Nelson, Boris, and where are you at, Tim?
11.
11. All right. So you all have managed to defeat the creature. Its attempt to surprise you. You were not stunned by its horrific appearance. So that's you, Jose.
Okay. So let me clear this one and roll. 16 plus 7.
That's going to clearly hit this.
Okay, and hold on a second. Let me do this roll. And 5 points of damage. With the short bow.
Alright, so...
Piercing.
Okay. 5 damage. It's you, Nelson.
Yeah, again, this time sitting on the shoulders of our good friend, Dole. He begins waving his hand and making elaborate, extended motions in the air. Then putting his hand up to his mouth, fires off another bolt of fire, this time as he does so. And that is a 22.
That easily hits.
11 points of fire damage.
So you strike the creature, and no, he just came out of the water. Steam rises off, and you see a small blackened patch, but it doesn't seem to do as much damage as you expected it to. That is you, Boris.
All right. I am going to outline this creature in my mind, and he is now marked as my prey. So I think that's one of my actions. And I guess for my second action, I will send Kalavul into battle.
Okay.
So that is a 21.
That easily hits.
So he will do minimum damage, which is 7.
Okay. Tim, you are up, sir.
Just sending you something into chat real quick.
Absolutely. The answer to your question, Tim, is only if you can actually, like, if the spell says that you can use an attack and cast the spell. The wording of fifth edition is if you have 2 attacks, it doesn't give you 2 actions.
Right, that's what I thought.
Like Boris did marking, which is a bonus action for rangers.
Yeah.
So that's why he can do. Yeah.
If you look at the player's handbook under the Eldritch Knight, I don't know if you get it at 5 or at 7th level. So just double check. There is a feature that if you cast a cantrip, it lets you attack as a bonus action.
Wait, Ted, can I back up? If that's a bonus action, I thought it was a full action. The Hunter's Mark.
The Hunter's Mark, no. Hunter's Mark is a bonus action.
Okay. So in that case, I will go into battle myself. So,
War Magic is 7th level for Eldritch Knights that allows you to use your action to cast a cantrip and 1 weapon attack.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So this thing, whatever it is, I think has to make a save.
Okay.
At DC 11, and if it
What,
fails, it goes prone. If it's not immune to such things,
what type of save, sir?
Dex save.
What is your DC?
I believe it's 11.
Hmm.
He rolled a 16, so I
Oh,
believe he's
okay. All right. So then I get no advantage on that. So I will try to hit him as well, since that wasn't a full action. And I will get. I will miss. I'm assuming 9 doesn't hit.
No, no, nine managed to go wide. Are you in melee with this thing now, or did you
Yes.
shoot ranged?
Yeah. So we both charged in and we kind of crossed on the way trying to distract it. So we
Okay.
have the wolf on one side and me on the other.
Yep. All right. So Tim,
And
what was your
Fenris
final?
on top.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And Fenris on top.
Oh, excellent. So Tim, what was your final decision on what you're doing?
What I was gonna do was I was gonna raise my shield into the my sword, Lucille, into the air, grip it with two hands, kind of lock my hands together and cast True Strike upon my my sword.
Okay.
You see this bright blue coiling energy kind of swirling around the great sword, and I kind of like try and make up as much space in between me and the creature as possible.
Okay. So you guys were about 30 feet away from the creature, so you're almost completely there. Is your speed?
Okay,
Is your
25 feet
Yep.
away.
So you're
25 feet. Okay.
all right.
It being is Delabor's native terrain, preferred terrain.
Yes.
Because
My
okay,
preferred terrain is
okay.
wood and swamp, as it happens.
Okay, good.
Well, we happen to be currently in a swamp. So let's see here. 1, 2. Not close enough. Not close. Yeah. Jose, you shot it with an arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say 1, 1, 2 is Boris. 3, 4 is Nelson. 5, 6 is the wolf. So that's
Ah.
Boris and Nelson. So
That's fine with me as long as Fenris doesn't get attacked.
Huh.
so that is a 16 to hit you, Boris,
That'll hit.
and Nelson. That is an 18. So do they both land, guys?
Yeah. I have my AC up on my actual screen. It's 14.
All right. So 12 points of damage to you, Boris.
All right.
And, well, mathematically wound up being the same thing. 12 points to you, to damage to you, Nelson. And the tendrils from this creature begin trying to wrap themselves around you. You can attempt to break free should you choose. And we are at the top of the order, Jose.
Now, because it is engaged with 2 of my party members,
Mm-hmm.
I have advantage, so I just roll 2 dice.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Oh, 8 plus 7, 15.
That does it.
That hits.
Advantage saved you, sir.
Yeah, now is it 3 or 4 dice at 5th level for sneak attack?
At 5th level, it's 3.
3. Good enough. Roll high. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points.
And that's, again, with an arrow?
Yeah, piercing.
Okay. Nelson and Boris, you guys are up, but you guys are currently entwined.
So we need a full action to break free.
Indeed.
And this can be what is it specific, or can it be a dexterity or strength as a normal grapple?
Either or. You have athletics or acrobatics, I believe that applies as well.
Well, I will indeed begin to start spinning rather than muscling my way out of it.
Because believe you me, I personally have done a water grapple with people, and dexterity certainly applies.
Now, see, I wish that were a 1 instead. It seems to have a hold of me!
Now, Boris, you haven't done anything yet, so I was gonna throw this out there before you guys got to do anything. I'm willing to take a little bit of liberty here, since Tim, you are up next. If you want to hold your action to attempt to escape, Boris, you could attempt to attack the tentacle holding him, and see if that actually would either sever or allow it to loosen. At worst, it might, or it might grant him advantage on his check. So, Boris, do you wish to hold your initiative until after Tim goes?
Could I have my wolf try to do this?
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
All right. So he's going to try to break me free.
Okay.
Should I roll a grapple?
Well, I mean, no, he can make an attack roll to see if he can damage the tendril enough.
Okay. So his attack is at advantage because he has pack tactics, and since he's presumably within 5 feet of one of us.
Indeed.
20.
Nice.
All right. Well, then I'm going to say, let me know what the damage is, but the advantage of the critical is he has severed that tendril. You do not need to make a check.
Awesome. So the damage is a little bit better than last time. So that would be 9 points. And then... Oh, and he also gets to make a strength check to see if he... I don't know if he would get to fall down since he was biting at a tentacle. I guess it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll give you you break free, and he doesn't have to make a check.
All right. So I will attack with 2 short swords. The first one will be AC 16.
AC 16 hits.
And the second one will be AC 7. All right.
7 is going to miss.
All right. So I hit him once. And that's 8 plus the hunter's mark is 3. So 11 points of damage in addition to what the wolf did.
Correct, sir.
And I'm done.
Okay. So, Tim, do you wish to attempt to cut Nelson free?
Absolutely. I'll step up and with my true strike, I'll hit once with the monster holding him, and then with my second strike, I'll come around and try and hit the monster after that.
Okay, so tendril, then monster.
Yep.
Okay.
So, okay, actually, I'll just do this. So for the first roll.
Oh, one second. Boris, when you roll damage Boris, when you roll damage for the wolf, did you roll double dice?
I was just about to ask you that. I did not.
Okay.
So
roll 2 more 2d4s.
Is that 2d4 plain or with bonus?
No, just plain. The bonus isn't doubled in 5th edition.
Okay, so it's an extra 4 points.
Okay.
So some people do it that way. I know that's not according to the rules.
Yeah, we've been playing it that way. Sorry. So go ahead, Tim. What was your?
Okay. Rolling. So the first one was a natural 1. However, with lucky with halfling, we roll once. So the second one would be a AC of.
That hits.
Yeah.
19 on your screen.
25.
Yeah, we know that it's at least somewhere in the teens. You guys have managed to hit pretty easily, but
So that does 3, 6, 9 points of slashing damage.
All right.
And then the second attack, so that'll break free Nelson.
Yeah.
And then the second attack, so that would be AC of 15.
Yep.
Okay. For 10 points of slashing damage.
Another 10. All right, so Nelson, you have been freed. Do you wish to attempt something?
If I can, yes.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I would attempt.
I'm just gonna move you down in the initiative order to after Tim.
I would attempt to stab the hell out of this thing. So, having the tentacle that grabbed him hacked off and him falling through his clothes all muddy and slimy and all manner of just utter terror staining his once fine clothing. In fury, Fenris draws his magnificent but short sword and attempts to thrust it deeply.
Okay.
I don't know if he does so. 13?
Thrust deeply,
No, 13?
Fenris.
Yeah,
13 is going to miss, sir.
13. So as he thrusts his sword, and just the slime and the gook and the swamp, this foreign, this oh so foreign environment to poor little Fenris is more than he can deal with. He misses and instead kicks, not to harm the creature, but to further the distance between him and the creature, and Fenris will run back using his hard to pronounce third level feature of swashbuckler.
What? Which one is that?
Tojor's La Audace.
Toujours l'audace.
What he said.
Always courage.
All right, so we're gonna say Boris is 1, Nelson is 2, Timmy is 3, the wolf is 4. So we got Timmy and the wolf.
Yeah, of course.
Oh no.
So strike at Timmy. That is a I can't read. 23, and at the wolf we got a 16.
That just barely hits.
That'll hit. That'll hit.
All right. So there's 15 points of damage to you, Timmy,
15 points of damage. Okay.
and we have 10 to the wolf.
All right. How bad does this thing look? We've been kind of beating the hell out of it.
You have been beating the hell out of it. It looks like it's tiring, but there's still some fight left in it.
Yeah.
All right.
We are at the top of the order. Jose, you're up, sir.
Alrighty, rolling again. 18.
18 hits.
Okay. And roll high, roll high.
It said no.
9
9 damage.
piercing. Yeah.
Just the one attack.
That's all I have is one attack. Yeah, one attack.
Yeah, he's rolling advantage because of a rogue feature.
Yeah, sneak attack basically.
All right, so that moves to Boris.
All right. We'll start off with Kalavu. So that would be AC 26.
Yeah, that easily hits.
All right. So, man, he's been rolling bad. So that's 8 points of damage plus a strength save.
Strength this time, huh?
Wow, it was always strength. I just
Oh,
forgot.
okay. You had told me it was Dex.
Yeah, I was wrong, but it didn't matter because he rolled. Oh,
He's got a 7.
all right. He's prone, which means I get to attack him with advantage.
There you go.
So 8 points from the wolf. First strike is AC 16, which I assume hits.
Yeah, 16 hits, no problem.
And the second strike is, I believe, AC 20.
Yep.
All right. So first strike is 7. Second strike is 5. That's 12. Plus 3 for Hunter's Mark is 15. Plus 6 is 21 altogether.
21.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Good round.
Beastmasters aren't as bad as they say they are.
All right, so that's up to you, Tim.
All right. So, getting the inspiration from my fellow comrades, I will kind of spin in a circle to gain momentum with my sword. And all you hear is spoosh, 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 with my great sword, and I come around. No, this is with disadvantage because I don't have True Strike on it. So that would be. Oh, where's my attacks? Come on. Oh, it would be 14 to AC.
14 is gonna miss.
Oh shit! Okay, so.
No, 14 to AC. You must be a 4th edition player or spent some time with 4th edition.
As my greatsword comes really wide, I come up overhead, and I come across the front of the creature with my next attack, and oh my god!
Oh. Wow.
And I come down upon it, and whoosh! And I kind of like almost lose momentum and kind of go back forward a few feet, like not even. And it's like, Lucille, what are you doing to me?
Have Fenris attempt to calm your woman down.
All right, so same numbers as last time. That's back at you, Timmy.
Are you changing alignment, Nelson?
Oh,
for
no, that's right. Nelson's up before my attacks. My apologies.
Okay.
Yes. Now, finally, making it by Mouse's position, Fenris 2 in kind will actually draw an arrow for his short bow. The very special arrow that is glowing a light. That's it. I've had it with you. Pulls back. Knocks the arrow, draws it, and lets it loose. A 15.
15 hits.
That's a 16, but it still hits. So that is 12, 13, 16 total piercing damage.
16.
By the way, you know, everyone should be rolling with advantage because it's down.
Oh, that's actually disadvantage then.
Oh.
But I rolled higher. Okay. When you attack a prone target with a ranged weapon, you attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
I forgot it was down. But my second roll was higher than my first. So Fenris just lets out a yell. Ah!
All right, so Timmy, would any of your strikes hit?
I'm gonna forego my strikes.
I know that one of them was like a 7 and a 4, so I don't think that would have worked. But I don't know if the first strike was any better.
That's okay. I'll forego this round and go for next round.
So he I had already declared who I was targeting. So we got one at Nelson and one at Timmy.
I'm away from it. I'm no longer engaged with it. Remember?
Be right back. Oh.
Well, if you would have left without taking an action, then he still would have gotten to strike you unless you disengaged.
No, not with the Tojora's La Audace.
Oh,
Say
okay. All right. Well, then I'll do.
He just wants me to say it again and butcher it. That's what it is.
it.
All right. And then
You
then
say
I've
it.
all right. Then I've got 1-2 Boris, 3-4 Timmy, 5-6 the Wolf. All right. So it's going at Boris. So 1 at Boris, 1 at Timmy. So Timmy, he hits AC 17. Boris, we hit AC 15.
Oh, of course.
That'll hit me.
So
Right on the money.
both hits. So again, we go for 15 points of damage to Timmy
God damn it. Jeez.
and
Right.
14 points of damage to you, Boris.
All right.
How are you guys looking hit point wise?
I am less than half now.
Same here. Hang on, I gotta calculate this.
I must say that my outfit is looking incredibly worse for the wear.
All right,
Well,
so we,
hopefully your outfit can pull us, our dead bodies out of the swamp.
the creature seems to have many of its tendrils and bulbous portions beaten, popped, severed, and it's clear that it is not exactly in good condition, but it does not seem to be fighting with any kind of self-preservation. Let's say you're up, sir.
Let's finish it off, lads.
Well, I rolled a 1 and a half, so I'm re-rolling that.
Excellent.
Plus 7, 27, 1, 2, 3. And much better.
Nicely done.
12? Yeah, 12, 13, 14, 16.
All right. Are you all rogue?
I'm a rogue, yeah.
So are you just rolling the sneak attack? You're not rolling the actual weapon damage?
That was the red dice, was it? That
Isn't-
was just sneak attack on 12. Plus. Did I roll something else?
The 3d6 is actually your sneak attack damage.
And
Right.
you
You
had
still
that.
need to roll damage for your weapon,
Okay.
which
So are you
fire
using
with
a,
a short
you're
bow,
using a
right?
short bow? So then
Yeah.
you'd be adding another d6 to that.
Okay, add another 3.
All right, so you had 4, 5, 3. That's 12 plus 3 is 15 plus your
Plus
actual stat bonus 4.
Yeah.
All right, so 19. So you managed to land a shot straight into this thing's eye. The thing quivers, flails, and flops over.
Good job, lad. That's how you do it.
Not a bit of damage either.
So the thing begins to sink into the murky water. You realize that clearly where it was or where it came out, there's got to be some kind of large depression that it could have come out of. So you might want to avoid that section, especially the wee folk, if you don't want to be swimming.
Fenris looks up in the air at whatever treetops he can, quickly glancing to the left and to the right and back to the left again, screaming out, "That was not funny!"
You hear laughter coming from behind you, and as you look, you see Mouse just laughing away.
Mouse, you killed the thing. Go check out his lair.
You're closer. I'm already waist deep in this muck.
Do I see any footprints
Mm.
here that belong to perhaps something else?
Nah, in the water.
We're in the swamp. In the water, yeah.
It's hard to discern footprints here. You had a clear trail that you were following before, and you're hoping that you're able to find the trail on the other side.
I'll just scan the area as best I can, looking for little bits of cloth that may have gotten torn off of someone and stuck to a tree or a branch. I have a 20 passive perception, so
Yeah,
If there's something out of place, I'll see it.
you managed to find that scrap of cloth that does not seem to fit the setting, attached to a tree branch that sticks out of the water. And by no means is 20 passive perception the best that's out there. I've
Sure.
I've seen and actually played characters that like that's the shtick that I was going for. So you guys continuing on?
What's the cloth?
Before,
It seems to be a white piece of cloth with green stitching.
Does that say anything to me about where it might be from or who it might belong to?
It seems to be nice cloth, and you doubt the typical denizens of the Crawlwood care about cloth or stitching. So it probably came from someone in the town at some point.
Would it happen to have a double underlaced stitch?
Sure.
doesn't matter. Before we leave,
It matters to Fenris.
I'm going to fold it up as a handkerchief and put it in Fenris's tuxedo pocket or whatever it is that he happens to be wearing here.
before we leave, I'm going to check out where this creature came from. I'm going to grab my greatsword and kind of like poke it down and see how deep it goes.
It goes down pretty deep. How wet are you looking to get?
Well, I'm just staying at the edge, and I kind of reach down and oh shit! I let go of it accidentally. It falls. Shit. Lucille is gone, guys.
Damn it! You can't even hold on to a pretend woman.
So did you drop it? Did you, or are you?
I dropped it.
Well, do you wish to?
Accidentally dropped it.
Do you wish to?
But it's okay.
Swim down and get it, or are you just going to?
No, I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay.
My great grandfather gave that to me. My father's gonna kick my ass when he sees this. All right, move on.
Okay. As you exit the swamp, things begin to clear and dry as you enter a clearing. You know, the warm sun actually breaks through the trees as we move into the last bit of evening sunlight. Do you guys wish to dry off and take a rest, or press on?
I vote take a rest.
Well, I vote we continue. There is a damsel in distress here. Don't you understand the magnitude of that?
The damsel in distress is not much good to us if we don't stay living.
And I walk up to Fenris and I look at him and I go, "How do you look at yourself? Do you really want to be introduced to a young lady looking like you look?"
That is, my friend, a low blow. There's not much I can do about that.
Well, if you look at all the time, you obviously take a good look at yourself. You're a mess. Don't you at least want to clean yourself up first?
He's got a point there.
It's not like there's a shower in the woods, you know. Not that I would imagine you know what a shower is. But again, that one tavern with the lights that I went to, and the elevated you would know nothing of it.
I look around to see how everyone looks in terms of wounds rather than muck. I assume we have no healers with us.
We've got fighter, ranger, rogue, and whatever Nelson is.
Trickster, I'm thinking.
Well, he said he's a swashbuckler. I forget what is that
The rogue.
I believe that is a rogue as well.
No,
He took a whooping from that thing.
Before we take a short rest, I will use my second wind ability and gain hit points as a
Okay.
bonus action.
Okay. You realize it's better to actually spend hit dice during a short rest and be able to save that for combat, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good point. Yep,
Doesn't the second wind recharge on a short rest?
it does. Yeah.
Oh well, then you're absolutely using the best way possible. My apologies there.
So, plus fighter level. Okay, it's 1d10 plus fighter level. Oh, for crying out loud! Seriously, 6 hit points. Oh my god.
Fenris does not take a second wind, but he will take a second and a third sigh once looking at the ravages of his clothing.
So,
Well, any man who's going to try and woo women that decides to become an adventurer really should have a spare set of clothes.
Women like a man who gets his hands dirty, as well as the rest of them.
Well, I do get quite dirty, but never quite in this manner.
It'll grow hair on your chest, or at least on your feet.
That is extraordinarily racist.
All right. Are we taking a short rest?
I would say we're taking a short rest.
Well, everyone seems to want to take a nap.
You guys can.
we're up on dry land.
Yes, you guys can expend hit dice, and the rules do say that you can roll dice one at a time until you're happy with how many hit points you've recovered. And
Yeah, I'm full.
I got no problem with that.
All right. Maybe we'll go up into a tree just to make sure that no one sneaks up on us.
I'll roll one more.
Excellent. 1, 3.
Don't forget to add your con mods.
Yeah, even with that. That's a little better.
Alright, I'm back up to full. Spending 3 hit dice.
I'm going to stop here and be 5 short for now.
I
will.
One more hit dice, and I'm ready to go.
I'll, as we're resting and kind of like sharpening or whatever you guys are doing, patching up wounds, you see Cassian kind of pipe up his head. He'll think, oh, no, yeah, and he'll just like reach out his hand, and he'll concentrate, and blap, Lucille's right in his hand as a teleport spell or weapon bond comes into his hand.
So the weapon magically appears in his hand at the
See,
briefest thought.
seeing the sword freaking flying out and appearing, Fem just goes, ah! Every time you.
As he catches it, he'll also kind of act like nothing has happened and just kind of put it right beside him.
All right, so you guys continuing on.
Yeah.
The forest begins to change yet again. The thick forest darkens as you move deeper within. What little light leaks in. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. My apologies. The forest begins to clear of living trees and bushes as you enter a zone clearly carried by massive arachnids. Fallen branches and leaves have been arranged to form a massive cave that has been sewn together with strands upon strands of silk spider webbing. Gray trees within the flaking bark loom high and have been woven together to make for optimum climbing surfaces. There is so much webbing throughout the area that any number of dark creatures could be lurking within the shadows without being seen. The closer you come to the cavern, the less you smell of the living forest. It's as if the area has been cleansed of any scent. The deathly silence permeates beyond you and your companions and their labored breathing. So what I'm going to do here, I don't know how familiar you guys are with player agency, but the giant spiders that are found within are no match for your combat prowess. So I'm going to give you guys each a chance to describe a scene of something that you did in this fight that tells of your daring, your bravery, or of some skill or prowess that you have the ability to do. So let's actually start at the bottom of the order. Let's start with you, Timmy.
So describe like killing or
and anything that you want to do. You could be killing a monster, you could be evading a blow. Something that's cool, descriptive, something that you would like to share.
All right. So, upon coming across the couple of spiders, two of them will be cornering me in a room of some kind. He'll cast a True Strike and wait for his companions to go forth, but after about a few seconds or so, he'll attack with two strikes, landing two critical blows, and he'll do a flourish in the air. He'll actually jump up in the air, spin around in the air, and come across one of the spiders and killing it. In a smooth action, he'll drop Lucille, bring out his maul, and come up and smack the spider as a baseball swing and send the spider flying straight across the room.
Cool. How about you, Jose?
Okay. Mouse was in the lead heading into this place, and as he was walking through, he saw something move, and he shot an arrow quickly, taking one of the spiders straight through the head. And as another one crawled over it, not having time to do anything else, he used the bow and the string on the bow to do a garrote around the spider's head and snap the head of the spider off as he fell backwards onto his hiney.
Nice. How about you, Nelson?
Watching not one, but both of his fellow halflings charge forward, do battle with these gargantuan spiders, these spiders that could easily tower over us, and then looking at his just horridly wilted and destroyed clothing, no longer covered in quite the finery he was before. Fenris purses his lips. And just starts firing one after the other bolts of fire into the webbing. Just burn it and be done with it. Grabbing a water skin and taking a few jugs of water.
All right, very cool. All right, how about you, Boris?
So I'll move in to the webbing, and using my pair of short swords as a pair of scissors, I'll hack through the silken threads until we reach our quarry, this giant spider, and I'll have Kalavu circle around and grab it by its hind legs and try to lift it part ways in the air, and I'll come around and I'll sink my short swords into its soft underbelly where it can't reach me, and just continue slicing at it until it turns to pulp.
Very cool. Let's see here. All right, so you managed to defeat yet another dark denizen of the woods, and you've managed to come through relatively unscathed. So you take a moment to gather your breath and continue on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The trail begins to open up. The rugged, crooked path that you have been traveling suddenly levels out and straightens, making it easier to walk. The air is dry and crisp, and ominous trees to either side of the trail sway high above, while you pray that no branches break and fall beneath the path before you. An opening in the trees shows before you, and some rough shackle domicile is made up of fallen trees, debris, and anything that can be found. What do you guys choose to do?
What is this? A little hut?
Not so little for the halflings. It's building size.
God, it's imagine.
Does it have any windows?
It does not. There could be areas that between the debris and trees, fallen trees that are used to create it, there might be gaps, but nothing that you would refer to as a window.
Do the tracks seem to be leading here?
It does.
How many sets?
Just one.
The big one.
Indeed.
And how long ago did whatever it was go in there?
There seems to be a lot of footprints in this area, and some seem incredibly fresh.
Question: is the past without a trace still in effect?
How long does that last?
Its concentration, and it went down when I cast the Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we no longer have that.
Okay.
So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna grab Mouse, and I'll say, let's go check around the back.
Okay, I'm gonna put my bow and arrow away and take out my short sword in one hand and a dagger in the other.
I'm gonna
stealth toward the building, so that's a 19.
Okay, how close
I'll
are you
stealth
getting?
too.
How close are you getting to the domicile?
I'm gonna try to get within 5 or 6 feet of it, and I'm gonna stop there and just listen to see what I can hear inside.
When you get within about 25, 30 feet, you hear movement within. A large booming voice. Do any of you by chance happen to speak Giant?
Nope.
It says something that you don't quite understand, and stepping out of the domicile, there's only the one opening, stands a monstrosity unlike anything you have seen before. Little more than 9 feet tall, this humanoid's flesh is covered in a thick reddish-brown carapace, not unlike armor. Its long limbs end in clawed hands and feet, while its sizable black eyes stare back at you, as if from the abyss. Its nose is broad and long, telling you that it has a good sense of smell, and its pointy ears extend out of feathered hair, while lengthy, sharp teeth fill its mouth, making it clear this creature is a predator. The hair that hair is its most unusual feature, resembling reddish-black flowing feathers and resting across the monster's back. Several of the strands seem to be moving in the wind.
Is the door still open?
Oh, there wasn't a door. It was just an opening.
Can we see inside?
You can see inside, but you don't see anything in it, as he's blocking most of the doorway. I do believe it is that time.
So he came out
Initiative?
when we
Indeed.
were coming out. Okay.
Yes, he as you were coming close, you can kind of gather by the fact that its nose is as large as it is. It smelled you.
Oh shit.
All right, so I have a 12.
Initiative?
Indeed, sir.
Okay.
Oh, for
I mean,
crying out loud.
You can
Oh, I
stand
get
there
to-
if you like, but all right. So we have a 19.
Ted, Halfling's luck. Do I get to reroll ones on initiatives?
Is it anytime you roll a 1 or just during attack rolls?
Attack saves and checks.
Then
So I'm assuming-
initiative counts as a check. It's been
Okay.
anything that constitutes a check has been clarified via the sage, because even the jack of all trades even applies, like for the bards, applies to initiative.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Right,
that didn't.
19 to 21. So Boris is first, then Nelson.
I just had a really bad idea. I don't know if you guys talked about it yet or not, but
So what do you wind up with, Timmy?
3
3. All right. So Timmy's last.
again. You guys.
You
I'll just sit down here for a little bit. And
you were last
study your moves.
last time, but you went before the creature. This time the creature's going in the middle.
Oh,
So-
Christ.
Boris, that is you, sir.
All right. Can I get a sense of how fast this thing is? Just watching it stumble out.
Even though it's tall, it doesn't seem to be moving any faster than a human.
Okay.
How far away are we from it? Sorry.
Well, the two of you that were sneaking up are about 25 feet away. The other two are as far back as they chose to stay.
All right. I will. Is there a clearing around this?
Yeah,
this abode?
there is plenty of space around this creature, other than the fairly large domicile behind him.
And outside of the clearing, are the trees much closer together, making it kind of easier to stay away from it?
I wouldn't think that you could definitely get out there and get some cover, but not anything he couldn't move around.
All right. Well, we'll try to kind of stretch it out. So I'm going to take a pot shot at it.
Absolutely.
Maybe 2. But I will use my bonus action to mark it. And after I've done that, we will move into the more wooded part.
Okay.
So,
Just to be clear, this is a large creature, right?
Absolutely.
so the first shot would be a 17,
17 hits.
and the second shot would be a 24. So I guess they both hit. So that is a longbow, 10 plus 4 is 14, plus 6 is 20, plus 4 is 24 damage from 2 shots.
Okay. Strong start. Nelson, you're up, sir.
in much the same way as he did with that very odd swamp creature and the spiders that followed in kind, Fenris begins breathing and waving his hand in accentuated motions, putting his hand up to his mouth and firing off another bolt of flame.
Singe it.
So that would be a 17.
That hits, sir.
And it deals 15
Watching
points of fire
perceptive.
damage.
I'm watching perceptibly if the elements are having some kind of effect, more of an effect on this creature.
Well, it did not have more effect, but he clearly did not like that.
And after firing off this bolt of fire, Fenris starts. oh, very arid around here. And tries to just back a few steps closer to the distance in which we first saw this mound that was this creature's domicile.
Well, yeah, he is up next, and he comes charging across the field, moving with ease around the two that were closer and angling right for you, Nelson.
Damn it, how far was I away from this damn thing? So we first saw it like within 30, 40 feet?
Right.
Golly. This force sucks.
So he hits you with ease. So he comes at you with his claws. And then
pretty.
And then a bite. Let's see here. You're not gonna like this.
Well, I don't like the fact that he reached me. The damage has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Whoa!
So it's 30 points of damage.
Is that in one hit or multiple?
3 hits. He comes at you.
So what's the first hit?
14.
14. Okay, so that one only does 7.
Okay. You parry it.
And the next two?
The second claw does 8.
All right.
And then the final is a bite for 6.
He crouches down that low to get to me? Jeez.
Absolutely. He has a lot of hate in his eyes. He grumbles through several languages in trying to find a curse that you understand. Starts off in Giant, which you guys clearly don't understand. Spends some time in Undercommon. I don't know if any of you know that before finally settling on Common.
Ah, it speaks!
That dirty bastard!
This guy is obviously a scholar.
Or he's been around.
Wait. Did he, like, get on all fours to bite me? Because I've got to be no higher than his kneecap. Just saying. If we're going to role play it out.
Well, the way it happened is he reached down with his massive hand, picked you up with one hand, punched you with the other, and then bit you and threw you on the ground.
You had to ask.
So that was only one claw attack then, because he picked me up with the other? No.
No. The second claw attack damage is when he threw you onto the ground. You want me to describe it? There you go. Do you want to make a deck save to not be prone when you land?
You keep going at this rate, he's going to start attacking with his feet, too.
Don't push it, Fenris.
He's going to attack me soon with his hip bones. I know it.
So, next up is Jose.
How far is that? Did he go past me?
He did.
Okay.
He
now
moved. So you would have to backtrack to get to him. He's right in front
Worry
of us.
not. He provoked no attacks of opportunity doing so.
Correct.
Okay. I am going to run up behind him.
Okay.
I'm aiming for his, with my short sword, for his ankle.
Okay.
He doesn't see me, so I have advantage?
He knows you're there, so no. But you do have an ally within 5 feet because Nelson is right in front of him.
Okay.
So you can get your sneak, but you don't have advantage.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Whoa. Very nice.
So 4 dice plus double it.
You would roll 8d6.
Wow.
And then add your modifier.
Sure. Why did I do this?
14.
Oh, sorry, I had that one in there. Don't ignore the 6th one, obviously. +4.
So that's
9, 10. Jesus. That's not bad. 9, 10,
33.
33. I would say he has a problem with his leg.
All right, and what you can do is you get to make a dex save.
Dex save?
Yep.
Okay, that's hold on. Oh, re-rolling it. Seven plus 7, 14.
All right, so the weapon that you used to strike him,
Uh-huh.
the metal is now starting to corrode on your sword. So that particular weapon has a -1 to damage.
Okay.
As Nelson smiles, he knows what's going on. Somebody did his homework.
I know what this is too. Not metagaming, but
No. I changed my lower third. That's why I'm smiling.
Oh.
oh,
Oh, okay. You're funny. All right, so that
see,
brings us...
I watch the videos.
Okay. All right, Tim, you're up, sir.
All right, so Cassian will lug his greatsword over his shoulder, reach into his pouch pocket, bring out a diamond worth 50 gold pieces. He'll concentrate, and he'll cast waving some symbols in the air, and acquire a chromatic orb for 4-inch sphere.
Okay.
Of we're gonna go with cold.
Okay.
And I'll lunge it across and try and attack this creature.
Okay.
For a... Ooh. That'll be AC 20.
AC 20 hits easily.
So that'll do 3d8. For 9 points of cold damage.
Okay. He is not looking happy.
Get out.
All right, so that brings us up to Boris.
All right. So I will say to my wolf, Kalavul, go inside and search. And I'm going to send him in to the domicile or mound or hut or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does this, I'm going to shoot him 2 more times since the wolf is not attacking.
Okay.
So AC 17
That hits.
and AC.
That's going to miss.
AC 10. All right. So I hit him once for a total of 8 plus 4, 12 damage.
All right, he is not looking happy. You realize as your arrow strikes into him, the metal from the tip of the arrow kind of dissolves. The shaft falls to the ground. Nelson, you're up, sir.
Could be my sword.
Okay. Okay. Seeing as I'm the only one actually engaged with this thing at the moment, correct?
No, Jose's behind him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, seeing as how it's so close, as it's taking these strikes one after the other, the metal corroding the wounds, bleeding forward, very quickly and deftly, almost magically, he spins a dagger into his hand and tries to thrust it upward into the jaw of this creature as it was bent over to bite his little ass when we can rap. No. 17.
17 hits.
And that is 10, 12, 13 points of piercing damage.
Do you want to describe what happens?
So Fenris indeed does manage to jump up slightly as the creature is raising, shove the dagger just beneath the jaw of the creature, catching it off guard because of course it didn't think Fenris could get that much height. But see, Fenris can get air. So he jumps up. He leaves the dagger inside to corrode as as every other metal has been corroding. Lets go of it, lands on the floor, rolls backwards, stands up, does a backflip, turns, and begins running from this thing. And then dashing as a bonus action. Yes, Air Fenris. To put 50 feet between me and this horrid, horrid creature.
Well, as the creature slumps to the ground, the wolf comes out of the domicile, with a toothy grin, tongue wagging, giving you the signal, Boris, that he's found something.
All right. I follow him in, and I say, I think we found what we're looking for.
So you guys enter into the domicile, and they're battered, bruised, but very much alive. Is a woman in tattered clothing. Her long auburn hair, though mussed, is gorgeous in the evening light, and her face draws you in. Red from crying, bruised and beaten. There is a beauty that you haven't seen in a while that makes you wonder what on earth would she look like if she were presentable as opposed to a prisoner.
All right. Well, before these lascivious halflings move in,
I'm moving in. I'm not moving in. I'm standing by the entrance.
I'm not moving in yet. Maybe a minute or two afterwards, Fenris will come from deep within the forest with one of his daggers drawn, just saying, I thought I heard another one.
well, I'm going to look over her with a medicine check, and as I do this, I say, Lady Amelia, I presume.
She's clearly groggy.
I try to figure out. Sorry, I was just going to say. I try to figure out if there's something more wrong with her than just bruises and grogginess. If she's succumbed to some sort of malady.
It does not appear so. Her biggest complaint would be lack of proper food. There's not much out here that she would find edible or palpable. So she's managed to eat unsavory for the last several days just to survive.
All right, I'll pull out a piece of deer jerky from my pack and give it to her.
She offers you thanks as she says what you can only intone as a prayer, something that she says with practiced ease in Elven, and then eats the jerky.
No thanks necessary. Can you walk, my lady?
I can. It will be slow going, but I can manage.
I can try to carry you.
I do not believe that will be necessary. Did you encounter much peril on your journey here?
Nothing we couldn't handle.
So you managed to guide your way back through, and surprisingly, the route you take is this is the first time you're really experiencing the utter chaotic shift of the wood. The terrain is either in a different order of a different sort. Plants are in different places. So when you think there's something that's familiar, it's like, well, this should have been on the other side, or this should have been smaller, taller. It plays havoc. Boris, as a ranger, you're used to natural surroundings and being able to use trail signs to be able to guide your way, and it's really mucking with your senses that, like, none of the things that you normally do are helping you in any way, shape, or form. But you manage to make it out of the swamp, or out of the wood with your intended the capturee alive.
Luckily for Boris, we have 3 incredibly lucky individuals.
Hey, he just said it was my intended.
Not that kind of intended. So
3 times the charm.
the as you manage to cross out of the wood and cross into the town, the guardian statues. It seems almost for a brief moment that they smile at you as you cross the border, but as you look back, they have the same stoic visage that they shared before. As you make your up, go ahead.
Just smile at me. Creepy.
As you make your way,
keep going.
As you make your way into town, the village is all alight as people begin making noise and the town begins to gather. Resk is brought to you guys quickly, and he is naught but tears and sobbing as he collapses at yours and Amelia's feet. He grips her in a tight hug that clearly shows his fatherly love. The limp on his left leg is all the more evident in his running up to you guys. He kind of hit it during his initial walking with you guys, as you were walking slow and asking questions. But it's far more evident why he no longer adventures. The town celebrates, and you have a little party. You're more than welcome to enjoy the festivities as much as possible. And before you set out, you're each handed a pouch of coin, as agreed upon in the note you all signed by the nag. So with that, we've finished up Enter the Crawlwood. I hope you guys had fun. We can part here if you guys want to give a final shout out. So start with you, Boris.
Well, that was a lot of fun, and I hope to do it again sometime.
Cool. How about you, Nelson?
I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Larone, who shortly after the adventure would make a pouch worth of coin and repurposed arms and armor that is completely unnecessary to one Fenris, but who is extraordinarily both entertained and pleased just to watch a master craftswoman do her job.
Well, Fenris could certainly settle down here if he so chose. How about you, Jose?
Mouse is just sitting down near the statue in the center of town, and he's trying to get the rust off his sword, and he eventually goes into the and buys himself a brand new short sword. And he's not very showy.
Okay.
But he's quite content, snickering to himself because of all of the party. He took not 1 point of damage.
All right. How about you, Tim?
Cassian will bow in a show of honor and respect and we'll hang out with the party. Although we'll try and look for more work elsewhere.
Okay.
Probably we'll head to the city of Gulls.
Okay. All right, everybody out there in internet land, thanks for watching, and you guys can all join me. Until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay dirty! Woohoo!
Take care, guys.
That's like
Hey,
3.5
so
people.
so which sub-race for halflings?
Lightfoot.
Stout.
Stout.
Okay. Well, so you guys, travel the few blocks, and you find yourself in front of the winged moon. Again, the buildings are nicely constructed and put together. This one does not have as many carvings as some of the other buildings, but it is well managed, well kept. It's fairly early in the morning, so there's not a whole lot of patrons inside.
Oh, good. More drinking for us.
Yeah.
As you enter the well lit building, you see off to the left there's stairs that go up to what you would imagine would be the rooms. There's a handful of heavy oak tables and chairs that are on the one side with the bar right in front. You see, uh, 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 an okay looking older woman. Looks like she's setting things up for the day, and there's a man behind the bar, middle aged, and he seems quite distraught. And he's behind the bar and moving rather slowly.
So I'll hold the door open as everyone kind of huddles in, and as the halflings pass by, I'll look down at their feet and I'll say, it's cold outside. You really should get some shoes, otherwise you catch your death of cold.
Mouse responds, I agree, except they don't make any shoes that fit us. And I have a better way of keeping warm. And I head straight up to the bar and peer over the counter, take a coin out and start tapping it. All he sees is my hand and my hat. I kind of look like Indiana Jones, but think 3 foot 3 inch tall Indiana Jones.
Wow. Huge for a halfling. So he looks up from what he's doing and looks down in your direction.
I'll join him.
But by chance, do you have any ale?
Aye, that we do.
Pints?
Well, a pint will be like a 64 ouncer to us. So I mean, a pint will do.
So, I'll say to the barkeep, I'll buy a round for all of us.
Oh, even better.
Starting your drinking early, huh?
I'll just have water, thanks.
Dom is always slightly drunk. Just letting you all know.
Some of the best adventures happen when you are drunk.
Agreed.
Are you saying this in character?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're coming to these parts, the only adventures around here is into the wood, and I'd certainly advise going in there drunk. Advise against.
Yeah, with everyone else drinking some sort of ale and seeing Delabor not partaking of the ale, Fenris is also not going to be partaking of the ale. And just looking at Delabor, sort of rubbing his forehead, trying to calm himself down. It did seem that we had one or two too many of my kind here, doesn't it?
I like them. My master was a gnome. I'm not saying you're similar at all, but I like the small folk. Good people.
Well, great things do come in small packages, you do now. Especially ones wrapped as finely as me.
No
And
doubt.
Fenris will start climbing up on a bar stool.
So, Resk interrupts your conversation. So, what brings you to Greskin?
Ah, a very young and beautiful woman. A particular young and beautiful woman, indeed. Uh, you know, I'm always on the lookout for young, beautiful women, but this one is very special to me. Her name is Amelia, I believe.
The only Amelia I know in town is not in town.
I
That
think
would
that's
be
the
the
one he's
one.
talking about.
Are you here to assist my daughter?
Ah, yes, a
I,
damsel in distress.
So he sobers up a little bit, straightens up a little bit. So they they sent you guys, huh? You guys been with the company long?
We were the last resorts. They
Wow.
couldn't find anybody.
this
Yeah,
is
So,
my
things
first
be happening.
mission, and hopefully my last.
what? You're last?
I'm traveling to deliver a token of my dead master to his family, but unfortunately,
Some monster, came into the village and absconded his attractive daughter, and you guys have been sent to attempt to retrieve her. So they tell you to head to the city of or the town of Greskin and seek out this Resk for as much information and to bring back his daughter.
Sounds like a challenge.
So just a recap, we all know each other, right?
Correct. You can be as familiar with each other as you like, or this could be your little first mission with the Nag, but you're all as part of that company. Normally with a campaign, I tend to try to do a lot to get people together, but as this is a one-shotter, it's best to have something to unify you guys all together and get you moving into the quest.
So we're already in Grimskin, did you say, or we are traveling to it?
Greskin, you are on the outskirts of this small town. Um,
Okay.
Now, Chase, quick question. I can't remember what your character's name. If you could update me on that real quick.
Dominic,
Okay.
or my friends, as I assume some of you are, would call me Dom.
Or Nikki. Just saying.
Yes, the one or the other. Those who are a bit more familiar with me call me Nikki as well. So, would is Resk a public figure in the way that we know of already? Like,
the information that you have is Resk is the innkeeper. Um, let's see here. The information you have is one night Resk discovered Amelia being dragged from her bed by several large individuals. He gave chase, but the monsters moved faster. He lost sight of her as the monsters were entering the wood.
okay.
so are we going to Greskin or are we going into this wood?
You were told to head to Greskin to speak with Resk personally.
Ah.
His inn is called the Winged Moon, and you were told that you'd be able to find him there. As you arrive upon the village, although the village is small, you see that care is taken into every aspect. The archway that leads that leads from the path seems to be immaculately carved. The signpost or the post for this arch, you're not certain whether it's actually growing out of the ground or whether it's just implanted there nicely. The wood that makes up this sign is dark and rich, and all over this archway there are images of Fae and and forest and all things that speak to you of beauty and of nature. And as you look around the town for again a village of this size, you would expect to see things a little bit more worn, but everything here seems to be made with care. The villagers that you see walking around, they seem to be uh, even their clothing seems to be made well, and care is put into every single stitch. You do see a very standard pattern of either butterfly wings or fey creatures in most of the buildings, if not every building. And is there any of you that have knowledge religion?
Not me.
I do.
Um, I'm not even going to make a check. One of the core nature deity is Belize. She is represented by an elven female with brightly colored butterfly wings, and you see a lot of um, homages or vestiges to her throughout the town.
Okay. So Elvinish with butterfly wings.
Yes.
Okay.
Her domains are nature, beauty, and fae. So where do you guys want to investigate the town? Do you want to head right to the inn?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and grab a passerby and ask him if where the Inn of Resk might be.
The 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 woman, points you in the direction of the winged moon, and she says it's third street on the left. Once you turn the corner, it will be on your right.
I thank you, milady, and I go towards her direction.
Yes, before setting another foot in Greskin, noticing the beautiful carvings, the beautiful people, the beautiful clothing, Fenris is going to adjust himself and his fine clothing and pat it down, trying to get whatever dust and dirt that would have been picked up by the cloth from it, and just situate himself in as proper a manner as can be expected on such short notice.
Short notice, pun intended. So, and anyone else need to do anything before you head to the inn?
I'll, as, who was it, Boris was asking around for the inn? Or no, Chase was.
Chase.
Yeah.
I'll head with him, but as I'm going with him, I'll veer off to the... Oh, sorry, as he's talking to the random folk, I'll ask him, has there been any rumors of late going around in the town?
Are you asking her?
Yeah.
She tells you that several of the villagers will tell stories that every moon people have been taken from the town, never to be seen or heard from again. She believes that Amelia, the daughter of the innkeeper, might be one of these recent victims.
Is there a city wall or a town wall in this settlement?
It's not so much a wall, but there are statues that do ring a section of the town, and you can gather that that's the direction that the monsters have come from. The woods beyond, there are woods all around, but the woods on the other side of the statues definitely seem more foreboding than the others.
Is there a guarded gate with city watch, or just somebody who's checking people coming in and out?
No one stopped you, but there does appear to be some kind of militant station.
Does it look like it's a problem to take a wolf into town?
Um, no. As it seems that the wolf is heeding your command, no one seems to be stopping you. And again, since there is so much uh, reverence for nature in this town, it doesn't seem that you're the only one with some kind of wild creature around.
Oh God, more Beastmasters? God, son of a bitch.
Masters all around. All right. Well, in that case, I'll just head straight to the Winged Moon.
Yes,
No one seems
before
to have a
heading
problem.
Oh,
before heading to the winged moon, Fenris is going to start snapping his fingers, trying to grab the woman's attention before she walks away. Excuse me, love. Excuse me, love. This is a beautiful town with beautiful architecture and obviously beautiful people. But I have just one final question, if you would be so kind. The people you say who go missing on these full moons, would they happen to be as beautiful as the rest of the denizens of this town and this architecture, of course?
Well, she gives you a wry smile, whether you had meant to offer her a compliment or not. It's clear that she has taken it as such, um, and she says, "Well, not all are as beautiful as." She pauses a moment to allow you to interpret that as you will, and she finishes off with Amelia.
Ah, yes, 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 yes. Well, that is all of the questions I can possibly think of. Uh, at the time, I am of course struck by the wonderment of this grand town and present company. I do have pressing matters. We do need to rescue this poor Amelia, but I hope so much to speak with you again later.
She gives a little curtsy and a nod, and she heads her way, and you guys head yours. So
Dom sighs and asks if are all conversations going to be this superfluous, good sir?
Well, my good friend, manners are a thing.
Ah, yes, that's one thing I never learned.
You guys are now seeing Joseph, a.k.a. call him the mouse, it's faster that way. Just shake his head, look down at the floor, wiggle his halfling toes, and just shake his head again. And go, incredible. Incredible.
So there's three
Why don't we
halflings
go
in
and
this
just
party.
find out where we can find the answers?
So is that correct? There's three halflings in this party.
Yes, there is.
Is that 3 halflings and 2 humans?
Yes.
Nice.
Not a single elf or dwarf. Wow.
That's
Apparently, one is called Mouse and one is named after a wolf. So this is going to be great.
the money that I was going to bequeath to them was stolen along the way. So I'm just here to earn a little money for them, and then I'll be on my way.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your hardships, and unfortunately, you guys aren't really instilling much confidence. If you're the dregs are the only ones that they could grumble up for someone that actually used to be a member.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a dreg. I only partake of a very specific sort of mission. This being that particular sort.
Have you had success in the past against monsters?
Oh, monsters, town guard, and all sorts of things.
They're halflings. They're fated for their luck. They'll do okay.
Well, at least some of you are attempting to instill confidence. So, ask your question.
I slam my down and say, "Good sir, though we may not look the best crew, we will do the job."
No, thank you.
Cassian is kind of like, as you guys are kind of like on, glassy-eyed. Shakes his head. Yeah. How about those adventures?
Do you have a
Well,
soup
here,
bone by any chance?
Do I have a
here's to
what?
not dying.
A soup bone. I have to feed my wolf. I have to feed my wolf.
Just remember, feed your wolf without halflings, please. Halflings are not food. I know we
Uh,
taste like chicken, but we're not food.
I can certainly round something up for you.
Great.
So,
Many thanks.
although I might have been an adventurer at a time, I don't necessarily have the same outlook I used to. So feel free to ask your questions, and I'll answer as best as I might.
All righty, I have a question or two for you. This is your daughter that's missing?
Yes, sir.
All right, when did she go missing?
About 8 days ago.
A few days ago?
Yes,
Okay. Where was she last seen?
in the inn with me.
So she left the inn and disappeared?
She was dragged out of bed, I hear.
She was dragged out of the town. We had gone for a stroll, and it was dark, and something came out of the wood. It leapt over the guardian statues, dragged her from my presence, and took her back into the wood. I gave chase, but I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I can't see in the dark. So it eluded us, or eluded me.
Could you see enough to tell if it was humanoid or not?
Aye, it was definitely humanoid.
Did you see anything more specific, Master Rask?
I'm no master. It seemed at least one of them was quite large.
So there are at least two?
Oh, there was the things that come out of the wood. They usually travel in numbers for safety. But one of the creatures that was here was definitely at least 8 foot tall.
8 feet.
That is tall. Were they hirsute?
Were they what?
Hairy?
It was
Furry?
too dark. It was too dark to get details. They stuck to shadows even though the moon was bright.
Was the moon full?
It was.
This is not the only person who's gone missing, correct?
No, there have been other reports of members of the town being taken. We do have an order here that seeks to protect those within, and the legends say that the forest on the other side doesn't have the same thing it used to, and it is crept and crawled its way from where it used to be, and it is attempting to invade our borders. So there are some call it trials, some call it wanton destruction. They attempt to lessen our numbers by taking those they feel are undefended.
Is there any tell or legends as to what this thing that is trying you is?
Well, inside the crawlwood, as the name is come to have, at its core, we believe it is run by a trio of hags. They themselves, and we are live. Hey, how's everyone going out there? It's Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we're going to be running an online game, or clearly the game with the fans. This is Enter the Crawlwood. So I'm going to go through, and people are going to be able to introduce themselves and their characters, plug anything that they might want to plug. So let's start off with you, Boris.
All right, my name is Boris, and I post long, annoying comments on Nerdarchy on their YouTube channel, and I'm also working on a 5e compatible game based on Russian folklore and stuff like that. And today, are we doing characters now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, introduce yourselves.
I'm playing a ranger named Dolibor Kupalo, and he's a beastmaster, and I'm playing the beastmaster because everyone hates them, so I just want to see what they can do.
Just out of curiosity, are you playing with Nerdarchy's revised Beastmaster, or are you
I'm
playing
actually
straight out?
perfectly fine playing by rules as written because
Okay.
I think it can work.
All right. And just out of curiosity, what race
I
is your ranger?
I am human, and my creature is a wolf.
Okay.
Kalavul.
All right. And how about you, Chase?
My name's Chase. I've been watching Nerdarchy for a few months now, just getting into it. My character's name is Dominic Lockwood. I'm a human fighter. I'm quite a large character. I'm 6'2". I've got lots of scars from previous encounters, but I'm the strong silent type.
All right. And over to you, Nelson. And it looks like
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
Slight technical difficulty. But yes, my name is Nelson, and I too leave exorbitantly long and annoying comments on the occasional Nerdarchy video. I own and operate YouTube channel, Infinite Roleplay. I also have a drive-thru RPG store, Infinite Roleplay, where I sell a bunch of adventures, maps, and dungeons for a very, very low price. I'm currently working obsessively on a cartoon remake using the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons OGL called Saturday Morning Tabletop. You can see some alpha tests on my channel as well as on the Facebook page Infinite Roleplay. I'll be playing today a halfling that goes by the name of Fenris, and everything else about Fenris will be discovered during gameplay.
All right. How about you, Jose?
Hello, my name is Jose Suarez. I've been watching Nerdarchy for almost 3 years now. I've been watching you since the beginning of the 5th edition came out. And I am playing Joseph Greenbottle, a tiny little halfling rogue of ill repute.
Man, I should be worried. If you've been watching us for 3 years and we've barely been around for 2, should I be worried?
It's about that time since 5th edition came out, so...
Yeah, so we've been posting videos for just about 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's finish up with you, Tim.
Hi, my name is Timmy, or as some of you people know, Timmy X. I am playing a halfling, stout halfling, Eldritch Knight. Shit, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Other than I also broadcast on Twitch.tv, as you can see. I run 3 campaigns, 3 groups, 2 which are pre-written campaigns, and the homebrew one is on Tuesday evenings. I'm also playing in 2 other groups as well too, as a player, and that's on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna get started. You guys all belong to a mercenary company by the name of the Nag, and the derivation of this name comes from the original founding member. Got this name because he was so annoying to villains by continuously thwarting their plans and all the things that they had set into motion. So at one particular time, the villain who he'd thwarted multiple times, but was still good-hearted and was not willing to actually end him. He's like, why must you always nag me? And the founding member thought that this was so true and so telling that he decided to adopt it. And while some members really don't like running around with a horse or a nag as their symbol, the company has actually done much for the realm, and they tend to pay well. So adventurers from far and wide have joined the Nag, and you guys are hired by the Nag by an innkeeper by the name of Resk in the city of Greskin. And Resk was a former member, albeit for only a small amount of time, and his daughter has been kidnapped.